Okay, this is the stuff now. Go ahead, Mallory. You're gonna have to try to record me with the camera while you're gonna record with the camera while.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a lot with my week.
Okay, great.
I mostly slept, so thanks. Whatever. I played Pokemon Go. Oh, I did play Path of Exiles.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, Path of Exiles pretty fun. It's a Diablo-like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So I've been staying up way too late doing that. Plus editing and learning how to...
Look at that. Learning how to edit. And
learning how to do all that.
I'm like the meanest advice giver. I'm
I
just
know.
like, she said literally, okay, I'm not going to post the thread, but she goes, how do I record myself? I said, with a camera.
Yeah.
Lesson taught. How to record
Patrick,
yourself. Now you know.
Again, for any advice or help.
Say, what software are you using?
She tried to ask me, and I just go, I don't know, my phone doesn't have software.
I was like, what the fuck?
No, but
Wait, what?
no, I know, but she couldn't get the software for her webcam to work though.
Oh, okay.
What webcam are you using? Logitech or?
I don't know. It's one my friend gave me.
What about everything else?
Papalook?
Papalook?
P-A-P-A.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Wow. Okay. Well,
It's,
obviously,
it's just one off of Amazon.
It's fine, but
So.
so yeah, what you'll probably want to do is look for the whatever brand it is. Just try to find drivers or the software from there because usually that stuff is all freeware.
That's why I was like, I don't know which software to use because the one that we tried to use zipped itself with WinZip, and apparently you have to pay for WinZip now.
No, you don't. It tells you that.
Yeah.
Naive Mallory. Oh, naive Mallory.
Well, I
just
didn't
ignore
pay for it,
Good.
guys.
Just keep ignoring it.
There was no gate, but he told me not to go in the house.
No, like, do you know the meme of like the guy who like has the weird grin and is like, well, okay, then there was a meme they made where it was the WinZip message.
That says you have to.
Like you have to purchase this, and you just click no, and you're just like,
Didn't
okay.
it used to have a date counter, right? Like your thing expired however many days ago.
Yeah.
I think mine is on like 300 something thousand.
I've never
days
seen
that,
one.
Not really that many, obviously, but mine is like on thousands of days that I haven't paid for because I've had it since like high school. So it hates me. So just ignore it.
Yeah, just ignore it. Every time, just ignore it.
But anyways, what else? Anything else interesting not happen or happen?
No. Just working on my ghost hunting video. Can't wait to
What
get that up.
I was going to ask to do, and obviously this probably should be an off-cast thing, but fuck it, we're here.
Before
I forget to say it,
Yeah.
is upload a copy of one of your shorter videos to the drive, and I'll also edit it like in my style, and then I'll compare it, and then see like if you like that or whatever. And we can kind of give you some ideas for everything. And you can show me yours, because I do want to kind of see what you did. For better or worse, like not overdoing this, because I think some people overproduce their video. That's a whole thing. We're not going to get into that right now, but we will talk about that.
I mean, it's just to trim it down, guys.
What software are you using to edit the video?
Vegas.
I told her to get Vegas. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
I tried one, and like it left a big old watermark across the screen, and I was like, well, I don't like that. And it's like, you have to pay for a membership. I was like, nope, not doing that.
Vegas, if you know how to use Vegas, it's a good tool, but it is very, at least compared to some other ones, it's definitely has a high learning curve at first. Because I went from using like, what the fuck was I using before? Fuck, I can't even remember. Premiere? No, not Premiere. Is Premiere on Apple? Is that the one on Apple?
Nah, I have
or
no
whatever.
idea.
Anyways,
Premiere is Adobe.
Adobe Premiere.
Yeah,
I was using that for a bit, and then like I was just like, I got a newer version of Vegas. I was just like, well, this probably has more bells and whistles because it's newer and the full version, so I might as well use. Oops, I was trying to not make a big plop noise with my slides, but there it goes. Anyways, and then I was just like, wow, I don't know how to do any of this shit on here, and so I just watched a few tutorial videos of how to fade, how to do this, just basic stuff that I normally do, and kind of learned on the way there. And it's good once you've learned everything, but it's definitely very confusing at first because it's not like you can just drag and play everything. It's pretty intimidating at first. But once you learn it, I've been having a blast, so that's what I've been actually doing in my better productions with that. So.
I mean, I've been with it, like I stayed up till like 4 or 5 in the morning one night just playing with it and just editing the video that was 29 minutes. Now it's down to like 8 minutes, which is cool.
That's good. Like I said, that's the main thing. I would say that my only real advice was the actual advice I gave, which was to like, it's okay to have some bits of slice of life moments if it leads to something, but one thing I see from so many vloggers is that they think everyone gives a fuck about everything they're doing, and so there's like sometimes there's just really dry cuts of the car being quiet or just talking about actual bullshit no one cares about. And although people who have like, if you're like Jenna Marbles, then I'm sure everyone gives a fuck about that, so like you can make hour-long video where nothing happens and people will watch it.
Yeah.
But that's because she's Jenna Marbles. Like, until you're to that level where you're like, everyone gives a fuck about every inkling of your life.
I really hope
it's definitely better to keep it down, because that's one thing
either.
I've been given a lot of advice for when my videos used to be really long, especially when I do LPs, and the episodes would barely be cut down because I would think people would want to see the real video game experience. It turns out they don't, because they want to just see you solving it, because people get triggered when you're actually playing the game like a real person instead of, you know, how it really works, which is you play a game and you die a few hundred times, especially when you're playing like a survival horror game or something. But everyone, of course, who's beat the game 1,000 times just wants to see how it looks when you beat it. So it's one of those things where you just keep like the cool moments. I'm curious to see what you did to trim it down. So
well, it's just all the videos that I did on Facebook Live with when I was in California. So I'm just putting all the it's too long to do like just a video because it'd be like an hour long.
That's fine.
So I'm doing one.
It's good that you're doing it that way.
Yeah, so I'm breaking it down and I'm just playing with it right now to see. But I have to record an intro, and that's why I needed a mic and a webcam. But.
I don't know why I thought you was gonna say mic and balls. I don't know why. I don't know where my mind is at right now.
Mic and balls.
But okay, so
that's been my full week.
All right, Josh.
Okay.
What happened in your world?
So for me, I've been playing Mega Man X Legacy on Switch.
Oh yeah, boy.
That's been fun. I seriously need to get like a Pro Controller or something, because playing it on the
without a proper D-pad, at least maybe if you're playing on the light with the D-pad, but without it,
it's pretty rough. And boy, howdy, part of it is probably just me being rusty, and another part is probably the controller.
Mix a little bit of a column A and B.
Yeah, but I mean, X is a fun game.
Yes, it is. Honestly, I would probably say. I mean, Mega Man 2 always going to be that classic, especially with the soundtrack. I'd say arguably the best Mega Man soundtrack. But the X series is really good. Like, as an actual like leg of games, I would say that the X series is probably the strongest, in my opinion.
I've always played more of the X games than the regular Mega Man games, unfortunately.
What else you got going on?
It was also a Yu-Gi-Oh! Filled weekend.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Friday night, went to the local, did bad. I think I got... No, wait, I don't think I got one... Oh, yeah, I got a win because it was a bye. Otherwise, everything else was pretty much a draw. Or just
and that was at the faraway one, right?
No, that was...
Further one,
Friday night was here in town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then Saturday, me and a few buddies went over to New Braunfels for... There was a Pro Play Games Invitational event there. So, if you get first place, you get an invite to the Pro Tour that they have. So we left pretty early, drove out there, and that one I got 2 wins. One of them was a bye. One of them was
for those
legit.
who don't know, a bye is
pretty much when you just don't go up against anybody.
Like they bailed, or they
they either left or maybe there weren't too many people in the bracket.
Okay.
So
it's auto win basically,
yeah,
just because of circumstances.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. I mean, I've learned that from listening to card people talk, but just, for people who don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, that win was kind of lame. But
well, yeah, because you want to have, you know what I mean? You don't want to win a contest because you're the only one who entered. You wanna, unless it's for money. You want to, win because pride. If it's for money, fuck everything. I don't give a fuck about winning against no one.
I just want to win.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think first place might have gotten a cash prize. I don't remember.
Okay.
But the win that I did get, it was kind of hilarious, but I also felt a little bad. I know I told you about it.
Yeah. What did you do?
So
let's pretend I'm not.
Yeah, so I was playing against this guy who really didn't know how my deck or how my boss monster worked. So I have this card that I usually will want to go into because it's a 3,000 attack beat stick, and it cannot be targeted by card effects. One of the materials that I use to summon it will prevent it from being destroyed by any card effects, and then if the opponent battles, they have to target that one. And it also has an attack, or it has an ability that when attacking a monster that was special summoned, which most monsters are, it can gain that monster's entire attack value towards it. So not its original attack, but whatever it has at that moment. So my opponent summons his monster, beefs it up to 7,500, and decides to crash into it. I said, alright, well...
Mistake.
Yeah, I was like, alright, well, I'm going to activate its ability. It's now at 10,500 attack against your 7,500.
Isn't the point of the card kind of banking on the fact of your opponent not knowing what it does in a way.
Well,
like as an inadvertent like effect.
If it was the anime.
Yeah, exactly. Well, honestly,
it was a very anime moment.
Not just is that my only segue into Yu-Gi-Oh, but at the same time, that's how I view cards like that. Is like a fool me once card, not necessarily, because I feel like if you go against this guy again, he probably won't do it again.
Yeah. I mean,
or if he knew what the card did, he would have not done
Sometimes some people, when they see the card, they're just like, I'm not going to be able to get over it, and they'll just concede. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, he didn't know how it worked, so he decides to crash into it.
And then, whoops.
Yeah, I tell him how the ability works. He's just like,
wait.
Oh my god!
I fucked up.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, sorry, buddy, you take 3,000 damage and your monster's dead. So, and then the second round, I was able to get it off again. Nice. Yeah, so that was fun. Then after that, actually one of the guys I went with, he ended up getting second place. So that was kind of cool.
That's cool.
And then after that, we went back into town and we decided to hit up the local event at 7 at Heroes. So went there. I only got 1 win out of 4 rounds. Everything else was just a loss. And I felt really bad with my win because it was against a little kid.
Oh.
Yes, a little boy and his mom were there, and he's playing a Heroes deck, and we're talking about, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Heroes. He's like, I summoned Elemental Hero Wildheart. I was like, oh my god. Poor thing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna combo off here.
Man. Oh. You're like watching the barrel go in that kid's mouth.
Right.
I felt bad. Like,
At the end of the game, did you tell him to get good?
No!
No, Josh wouldn't do it.
I know.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, fun game. Good job, kid. Like, I mean, he got my life points down to 3,600 because of a card, so...
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, so there were parts where I held back because I had some, I had my back row set up, and he was popping stuff, and I could have negated. And
but you just let it go.
Yeah, I could have not let him play the game, I'll put it that way. So
you just beat that kid.
Right?
So, yeah, he does that, and then I had that same boss monster out, and he plays a card where he can name a target, and every time that monster's effect activates, my life points get cut in half. So he decides to attack it again, and I'm like, life points don't matter in this game. I will activate this effect to absorb your monster's attack.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, you take half life damage. That's fine, because I'm going to win anyways. It doesn't matter.
So, you're lucky that it wasn't one of those things where the kid is just a sleeper and he just shredded your ass at the end. At least that didn't happen. Where he's just like, oh, you thought I was a kid? And then he just rips off his face.
That would have been intense.
And he goes, I am Supreme Neckbeard.
Yeah. And then there were some other frustrating moments because I'm still learning.
Yeah.
And this one guy, during one of the turns, he's all like, alright, dude, I'm just straight up tell you, you're gonna lose this exact turn. I don't know why you did this. You should have just done this instead. So that was a little frustrating.
Did he do it that dickish sounding?
Right? Like,
yeah, a
punch
bit.
this guy in the face.
Yeah. Of course, he prefaces with, not trying to be mean, but...
Oh, God. Not trying to be racist, but...
Yeah. So.
You always
don't take this offensively.
The thing that follows that line is always a bad thing.
Yeah, so he starts going off on it.
I will.
I don't know. It felt like I really got gaslit.
I
don't know. But I mean, I went on Discord and was chatting to some people about it in some of the Yu-Gi-Oh groups I'm in. They were pretty much like, "No, your decisions were valid." Like,
it's what a human would do that didn't overanalyze the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there were times where I think he knew I was learning, but he said some things where clearly he didn't know how my hand was. Because
that just makes me think of when Pat was talking about when he was learning League of Legends, and like, even though it was literally one of his first matches, people kept accusing him of throwing the game, even though he just didn't know the terminology. They kept using nerd lingo at him to like tell him what to do, rather than. And even when he would ask, "What does that mean?" For example, the term they were using was leash, which is apparently relevant to whatever character he was playing, and they were just like. He was just like, what's that? What does leash mean? Like, what is leash? And then they were just like, leash, 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 in all caps. And just he's saying it, and he was just like, but I don't know what the fuck that means. And then, of course, he just had to guess what that meant, and it was wrong.
Yeah.
And then they got really mad, and they were just like, "What is this guy fucking use a Smurf account? Just fucking throwing the game."
Oh, jeez.
And it's just like, what?
That's why I'll never play League of Legends
fuck
again.
League of Legends. Anyways.
But yeah, because there was an instance where, so I have a card where if it leaves the field, I can discard a type of monster, a Cyber's monster, which is all my deck runs pretty much. And I can draw 2 cards. Well, I had to use it for summoning material. And at the end of the game, he's like, you could have plussed off that, right? I was like, yeah, but the only card I had was one that I needed.
I would have been like, yeah, bitch, I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I totally knew that. I just didn't do it.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to know because you could change that.
We
It's
could
like,
never
no,
go
I know.
to these, Patrick.
Obviously.
Because I was doing all day. All day
damn.
I was doing that, and I had the material and the resources to do so. But during that game, I had a pretty rough hand. I really couldn't. So that was a little frustrating. It was the same guy, so...
God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds annoying.
But, yeah, it was a very packed day, and I guess it exhausted me so much, because I slept till about, 6:30 today.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you went all out.
Yeah,
so there's that.
Yep, and then, then Friday, you and I both...
We went to the local museum, the Whitty Museum. It was one of the last days of the mythical creatures exhibit.
Where was my invite, guys?
We
I
must have cut out the line.
No.
Yeah, you were working.
No, I don't work Fridays. I only work the weekends.
Oh.
So we went to the Whitty Museum, and it was one of the last days of the mythical Jellicle Cats. No, it was one of the last days of the mythical creatures exhibit, which was a lot of fun.
Was it?
Pretty neat.
It was pretty good.
It wasn't that cool.
No, actually, you know what? It sucked. Alright, so I was playing Contra all week.
You don't have to lie.
Okay, so anyways, it was pretty awesome. And I haven't been to the museum in a year, and at any museum, but even the Whitty Museum was the last one I went to years ago.
I can send
when
you
they had the
photos.
Dino exhibit. Huh?
Okay.
I was like, I can
Oh, well, don't worry. Just watch this week's Few Minutes In It video, where we'll have HD footage running at 60 frames a second. 60 frames. It's running better than we were there. There was more lag in real life when I was there than what I captured on video. But anyway, so it was a lot of fun. They had the Kraken, they had a dragon, they had a unicorn.
Yeah.
They had a narwhal horn.
They had a narwhal horn.
They had an narwhal.
They had this big ape thing.
Yeah, big old Harambe ass ape that was there.
A giant emu.
The big emu.
Oh, they had one of those.
Dragon.
They had one of those Chinese paper dragons.
You know what's even worse? I was thinking about inviting you, and then I said, "Nah, she can't go." and then we just went.
Too busy.
How dare I assume her schedule?
Right,
Anyway, so
we
yeah,
have
you
this
guys.
thing called a phone.
Okay, I forgot about that.
We
So
do use
yeah, so you
them.
guys can check out my video for those of you who didn't get to go, which is pretty much everyone else but me and Josh. And then you gotta check it out this upcoming Wednesday when I make my video on that. So there's that. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it, as if you were there. You can pretend.
Right, I can pretend.
They also had a little chupa thingy there.
Oh yeah, the Chupacabra was there, and the little action figure
they had a
too.
little sculpture.
And they had a gift
Chupacabra.
shop with a bunch of
Did they?
with unicorns pooping.
Yep.
They had a little poop toy.
Yeah.
It pooped out
Everybody loves
glitter
unicorn
gel.
poop.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, they had a Tengu mask.
They had a Tengu mask. We
That was
got to
pretty
make our own dragons, and I made a real asshole looking one. So, and then when you release it, at first I was just like, what the fuck do they mean release it? Do they mean delete this shit? And then I looked up, and there's a screen where you can see everyone's dragon that they created running around in this little
That sounds
village.
fun. Sounds
It wasn't as cool as it sounded.
Yeah, it was okay.
whatever.
It's gonna look really fun in the video, but it's a lie.
Oh, okay.
Well, there was also one place where you could take the mammoth bones and try to construct a giant out of it.
Yeah.
You're like, now you can see how the Greeks fucked up.
Yeah,
Why are
you
my
can
ear
see why
guys?
there's. You can see the tail where I put it instead of his head, which is what I did at the dinosaur thing too. But anyways, yeah, it wasn't that great, and there was 2 Pokemon references and 1 Dragon Ball Z reference, so that was the thing.
Yeah, that was kind of. Wait, what was the second Pokemon reference?
Apom, and then the other one was.
I knew the Apom.
Maybe there wasn't another one. I lied.
Oh, okay.
I have to check my photos again. I have to go.
The
through
Dragon
my
Ball
files.
one was kind of
The
funny.
Dragon Ball one was kind of funny though.
I know for the Tengu, they did mention Tengus are often depicted in Japanese anime, a kind of cartoon.
A kind of cartoon.
Like,
not really a real cartoon, but a kind of a cartoon.
Kind of a cartoon.
That was a really weird description of it, but at least they tried to explain what the fuck anime is.
Yeah. It was, yeah. But I mean, It was neat.
Yeah, it was alright.
Cool.
It was pretty good. It was actually a lot of fun.
There was a giant emu. You didn't miss much.
Yeah, then we had really good Indian food afterwards, and then...
And then I went and played Yu-Gi-Oh! So.
And then you went and played Yu-Gi-Oh!
You would have just got
there was traffic. You wouldn't want to be there for that crap.
Like...
There was traffic.
There was certainly traffic. Right, and then other than that, this week I played Contra Collection. I have to use the code because it was so I recently watched Mike and James' old video of when they beat Super C, and they just beat it with no continues and no life code, and I was just like, how's that a thing? I use that and I still use the continue to get through most of the fucking game, but Contra, really hard game, like really hard. A lot of fun, but still easier with one person though, for sure, than with two people. Because unless you guys have that synergy going on, fucking hell, that game is hard.
What do you keep doing? Quit feeding. Yeah,
basically. Now I keep coughing a lot because I made fun of Mallory, and now I have a fucking cough.
Now it's going to be really hard to record.
Karma.
You're not going to have any fun like the Woody Museum.
Yeah, the Woody Museum was not great. Anyways.
I legit thought you were working, okay.
I also played Call of Cthulhu, and I did really think you were working.
It's okay.
And then I also played Call of Cthulhu, which is interesting because I played Sinking City, which I had a lot of fun with, which is a Cthulhu game, and this one's a lot more... it's really similar. I just realized that the thing that made it different... I was wondering what was so different about it at first, other than it's literally a different game, was that it's first person, and Sinking City was in third person, so that's what I realized. I was just like, oh, this is like really more in your face when shit's happening. Like when you get attacked by tentacles, tentacles were there too. They basically talked about at the Woody Museum. They talked about the Kraken and what people mistaken for mermaids and stuff like that.
Didn't they have like a tentacle mold or something?
They did have a tentacle mold
or something.
And then they had what the what everyone's seen of the fake mermaids, where it's like a monkey torso with a fish.
Yeah, that was a little gross.
Sew that together. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
I've always heard about how disgusting it is, but in person, but that wasn't that fun.
They had a giant manatee hanging up and a stingray. For whatever reason, I don't
know
why the stingray was there.
Pull up its ass. Yeah, I know the stingray's a real thing. It had a manatee and a stingray, which are both real.
I get the manatee.
Yeah, manatees are real, mermaids.
Yeah, because
people mistook. Maybe people mistook the.
If I was there, I could have told you guys. Like, I could have pointed that out while I was there.
Well, I read one of the things in the museum which explained to me that people mistook manatees for mermaids. But the stingray, I still don't get.
Maybe
it's the mythical creature.
They saw the giant barb and they're like...
Maybe it's the giant stingray. That's a thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
They also had a hammerhead shark up there too? I don't know. I know I was joking yes, the mythical hammerhead shark.
Yeah, they had a hammerhead shark for some fuck-all reason. That was weird.
Unless... No, wait, no.
I don't know. I didn't get to read the plaque, guys.
I was saying, it would have made more sense for them to have a dolphin.
I was there.
Yeah, because there was a part where they talk about how... When you see whales and dolphins like breaching, like they kind of mistook it for like those old drawings of serpents. Where they're so like you could probably think it's a
like
serpent.
Tahoe Tessie.
But a shark doesn't breach. So why would they put a shark up there? Whatever.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't.
All right, there's no segue. Fucking hell. Again, I don't have a good one anymore. But fuck it. So on the line, she's been suffering this whole time. Right. So don't worry. Everyone's been listening to us bang on for fucking forever about our lives, and no one cares about like the damn Woody Museum. Mm-hmm. But we have Lex, the Lexicon Artist, on the line. Nerdcore rapper, all around entertainer. How you doing, Lex?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing well.
All right.
Awesome.
Anything interesting happened to you? Did you go to a museum without a friend sometime this week?
Oh, man. I mean, I've been really busy this week. Just busy with a variety of different things. But if you want me to talk, like, something nerdy that I've been doing this week, I actually just, like, a couple of days ago, I started on this series that I've always been meaning to watch, but haven't, and that's Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Oh, and I've been just powering through that thing. Nice. Just like every day, sit down, have some self-control, and watching like 10 episodes. Nice. And then going to the gym, and then saying like, alright, I'm going to reward myself with another episode when I get back from the gym.
Look at that.
So that's kind of been my deal the last 3 days or so. And like I've watched the original Fullmetal Alchemist, but I've always been told to watch the new one.
Yeah,
the new one from 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I'm not done with it yet, but I'm just like, oh god, like I need to have some self control. But it's so good. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it.
Yes. It is an awesome, like, what would be the fair terminology to use on what it is? Is it a remake? Is it a retelling?
To my knowledge,
it's like a reboot.
So to my knowledge, the original Full Metal Alchemist really strayed from the manga. So with Brotherhood, they tried to make it more like it. Now, I never finished watching the original Full Metal Alchemist anime. I have not read the manga. But most people have told me don't even bother finishing the original anime and just watch Brotherhood instead.
Okay.
But
So for people who haven't finished even the original, it's like it doesn't really. It has its own like kind of anime original story, but it isn't really that good. Like there isn't really a point, like unless you want to experience two different like paths that these two stories take. But essentially, when Full Metal Alchemist original was made in 2003, the manga was still ongoing. But then they ran out of content to adapt in the manga, so they ended up just making up their own stuff. Like they just kind of like fanficked it.
Yeah.
And obviously that never goes well.
No,
so by the time they made the remake is actually a faithful adaptation of the manga after it's finished. So that's what I'm watching right now. But I had to like kind of go through parts of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood that overlap with the original because they were following the same parts of the manga. But it was only like 10 episodes. Like after 10 episodes, it was like all new material. I was like, okay, cool. And it's honestly a lot better.
Nice.
That's insane though. It's only 10 minutes or 10 episodes and then was Full Metal Alchemist strayed that much?
It strayed that hard, I guess. I know that like it definitely never from every anime fan I know from casual levels, like I'm super casual, but then I know people who are more like really into anime will all agree though that whenever it strays, it sucks. Like Hellsing, like after Hellsing runs out of fucking manga material, holy shit, it sucks. It's so bad. It's really, really shitty after that. And then you have Berserk, which is another one where I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore in terms of like...
Yeah, well, the problem with the current one is I think it's probably just the budget.
Budget, because eating shit.
That animation is so bad.
It's really bad. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the problem with this sort of thing is that, like, planning is really important. Like, there are a lot of series that, like, FMA is one of them. Like, what the writer planned in the very beginning actually matters towards the end. Because, like, they aren't just fucking, like, retconning everything like Star Wars. They aren't just, like, making shit up as they go along. It has a plan from the very beginning. So, like, when you don't follow the original manga writer's plan, like, it can only go wrong. Like, if you're thinking about a show like Attack on Titan, for example, like, everything is planned out way in advance. Like every single reveal, you can go back and see, like, oh, where this was foreshadowed. Like, something, like a reveal in Season 3, you could go back to Season 1 and be like, oh, this moment, like, this is what they were referring to at that moment. That would only, like, came back, like, the payoff only came back in, like, two seasons later. Now, imagine if, like, the creators of Attack on Titan, the anime, like, didn't follow the manga writer's story at all. It would be terrible, right? Because, like, they wouldn't know how to call back to those, like, initial references. So it just never works well, and yeah, but, like, my assessment of FMAB is that it's great, and I'm really enjoying it, and I should have watched it a long time ago, but I'm glad that I'm doing it now, because it's really fun.
Better late than never. That's the exact case of that, because, I never watched the original, and I just watched Brotherhood, and so I have no point of reference to the original, but I just always heard that, fuck it, just do that.
It's way better. Brotherhood is.
Have you been playing any games lately?
I don't think I've played any games. I think this isn't even a new game, but probably the last game I played was, like, at a friend's house while on his Switch. We were playing that, what is it called? God, it's a visual novel game. It's called Dream Daddy. It's like, it's a dating sim. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, you know, you play as a single dad and you move into a cul-de-sac with a whole bunch of people and you, like, date them, so. And, like, I was pretty good at it, but, you know, I only played it when I was at his house.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you have a new album coming. Is it still forthcoming, or did it already drop? I just want to make sure.
Oh, no. If it has dropped, you would know. Yeah, it is forthcoming. I've actually spent the last couple of weeks just working really hard on, like, getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
I have one song that is still being written, and I was working on it just today.
Nice.
And I have 2 songs that are still yet to be recorded. But essentially what I've been doing is just recording, stemming it out, uploading it to my engineer, and having my engineer mix everything down. And that's kind of taken this back and forth process of maybe like 3-4 weeks. But yeah, it's been a work in progress, and you know, it actually just creation is a hard thing. I mean, like as you guys probably know if you work in the game industry, you know, gaming is, you know, games are even harder to make because you have to write out this like fully like fleshed out story. Whereas I guess this album is a little more ambitious than the last one. It has like kind of fuller concepts and more like interesting concepts that I'm tackling. But I think like that's why it's taking longer, and it still isn't even at the level of complexity as a game. You know, it's still kind of like stitched together. Like it's 16 tracks about different things stitched together by this like common concept.
Nice.
But it's taken a while, and I just want to take my time with it to get it perfect, but I also want people to hear it, so I kind of want to rush it out. I think I'm at the finish line here. I think, like, this week I can get it done. Like, this forthcoming week I can get it done.
Nice.
Like, this last song I'm working on, like, actually is kind of inspired by this anime Steins Gate. And I have a couple lines that reference Steins Gate. I just added them today. I was like, oh, cool. Like, you know, this is a show that I've been rewatching, and I think it's a great show. So I'm going to put some references in here.
Nice.
But it's not, like, kind of about the characters. It's just taking the concept of the anime. But yeah, it's a song that closes out the album, and I don't even know if it's going to be on the album. I have to hear how it sounds first. But yeah, I'm really trying to get that done so I can start working on the promotion cycle.
Awesome.
And that is a whole beast unto itself, and I like only started planning it out today. Yeah, it's just like the promotion cycle is like, okay, like do I want like an album release show? Okay, I have to have a video. I need to make sure that like the podcasts get it. I need to make sure that the press gets it. It's like God, it's so much work. So I'm really trying to mellow out this weekend by watching a whole bunch of anime before I like step on the pedal.
There you go. And that's good. That's good to have that moment, because you don't want to go high stress into high stress, because then you're like, even though it's something you're passionate about and it's fun to do, you don't want to overdo yourself still, because even having fun and liking what you do, it's kind of what I always tell people about content creator stuff, especially for those who do it like full time, is that it's their dream job, but like at the same time there's so much that goes into it. It has all its like demons and stresses too. So like nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. A thing, even if you're doing it as as a passion project or for your well-being, like there's some sort of thing there that's takes a lot of effort or work. So yeah, that's good.
This shit isn't for my well-being. Who are you kidding?
But,
this isn't fun. This is my job.
There you go. So
this is no, it's fun. Creation is the hardest part of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Promotion is a little more fun, and performance is like my favorite part of it. But like the creation part is like, I wish I could just skip this part because it's really hard, and I just wanted to get it perfect. And obviously nothing's perfect, as you said. And yeah, it's like hella not fun. Some people love the creation process. I fucking hate it. I'm just like, like I don't like anything I make.
That's an interesting thing I hear from a lot of like all sorts, from music to everything. A content creator, like I remember on Cast of Super Beast or Super Best Friend Cast, they were talking about how a lot of them have never really experienced their own stuff once it's been pushed out. Like sometimes they get surprised when they hear about like especially for those who have video editors and everything that literally do all the final chopping. Sometimes they're just like, oh wait, that happened in my video. There's a thing that reference. Oh yeah, okay, like that's a thing. That's
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like my take on it is this: like my last album, Raging Ego, like. Granted, when I did the Spotify review, you know that like Spotify and review thing where you can look at your stats of listening throughout the years? I did that, and it showed that my most listened to album was indeed my own album in 2018. So I can't say that I didn't listen to it. However, what I do know is that I no longer listen to it. I just like I don't really listen to my own music. Like I create it and then I ship it off to the mixing and mastering and mixing and mastering, mix it all down, and it comes back. And by that time, I've like listened to the multiple iterations of it just to like make sure that the kind of the cracks and the issues are fixed. I've already burned myself out of all of that. So by the time I like ship it out, like push it out, okay, cool, here's the album, enjoy. I don't listen to it anymore. I never go back. So
once it's out, you just because I know some artists, once they get something out, they like you said, don't look back on it. They just keep trying to move forward rather than focusing on what they previously made. Which
I mean, every artist is different, right? I'm kind of exaggerating. It's not that like I don't like my stuff. It's that I don't really go back to it that much. It's like I know what my music delivers as far as value for people who consume it and people who listen to it. And I know that is one of the reasons I need to continue making music, because I know that like what I produce is going to be like enjoyed by like lots of people, and it's going to mean a lot to them, and it's going to generate value in their life. And I think that like there's value in that, and like that's one of the main reasons I actually create music, is to help other people and make them feel good. It is less about I think it is somewhat less about my own freedom of expression and like a way of my expression than I think it is a tool for me to get my message to others, so that they can feel better about themselves. So in a way, it's like sort of like an altruistic feat. That isn't to say that I don't enjoy doing it, but I think people's goals are different, you know? I think a lot of musicians, at least I know, they're like, oh yeah, like music is my life. Like, you know, I can't live without creating music, and like, you know, I will create music every day, and music is just like part of my soul, and like it's my passion. Like I love music. Like I grew up playing music in contexts that I didn't enjoy and in contexts that I did enjoy, and it's a really, really big part of my life. However, like I see it as more of a service to others as opposed to fulfilling my own desires. Does that make sense? It's a little convoluted, I understand.
No, for sure. And I think that's just part of the process, is that it's all convoluted. There's so much stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
Literally.
There's a lot.
Yeah, totally. So it's not like I don't look back. It's that I get bored of my old stuff more easily, because once it's out there, I'm like, okay, it's like fulfilled its purpose now. Now people can consume it whenever they want.
Right.
But now I want to make new stuff, because like I want to perform new stuff. Performing is like a really fun part of my job. So getting on stage and like going all out. I don't know if any of you have seen my live performance, but like it's kind of like a very energy expenditure sort of task. Like it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of jumping around. It's a lot of yelling and just high energy stuff, like all over, and it gets people hyped.
You had a show recently with MC Chris, right?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said you had a show recently with MC Chris, right?
I went on tour with MC Chris, yeah.
You did, right? Okay. Yeah, no, because I saw a live stream of both of y'all's stuff recently. That's actually one of the things I did watch when I did see some live stuff from you. I haven't seen you in person yet, but definitely...
right on. That, so, yeah.
But,
he did really a couple of live streams. I don't know if he ever got my set, but like sometimes he would do live streams of his own set on tour. When he was doing shows. But yeah, I traveled around the country with that guy for like 5 weeks, so.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But I guess like going back to my older point, if I'm trying to have fun and do something that I enjoy and like can put a lot of energy into, I can't keep doing the same old stuff, so I get bored of my old songs really easily, so I just want to keep making new ones, and that's one of the reasons I'm putting out a new album.
There you go. That's good. So we've had several nerdcore rappers on here now. We had Oh My, we had IQ, we had Shubs and Bill. How did you get? What was your beginning roots? Like, how did you for like kind of in this nerdcore scene particularly? How long ago was your initial entry and exposure to that? And were you already doing music prior, or was that also your like entry into music as well?
So I was classically trained when I was young. I started playing music when I was 8 years old. I played like violin and piano, so I've always been a musician. And I consumed a whole bunch of different types of music in different varieties, in different capacities. And I performed a whole bunch of different music, like in an orchestra context, in a cover band, playing bass, like instruments. As far as vocal performance, I never really did much other than karaoke cover stuff until I started to write my own stuff in 2016. So at this point, maybe 3.5 years ago, so in summer of 2016, I decided to start writing my own stuff. And having listened to a whole bunch of hip-hop earlier in my life, it kind of like came really naturally to me. So when I started writing my own lyrics, I started, performing in public. And pretty soon I decided to kind of take it online. And on Facebook, I joined this Facebook group that had a lot of people in nerdcore involved in it. And I started posting my stuff on that Facebook group. And I would say that's probably around late 2016, early 2017. And then starting from there, I was involved in some of, their competitions, like the VPC. Right, VPC. VPC is kind of like a competition that when I participated, I actually made a team with Omar, who was my producer. And so he made beats for me, and I rapped, and we were in a competition together. And through that, there were a lot of people who kind of paid attention all throughout 2017. And then in 2018, that was when like things started to pick up. I started getting more gigs like within the scene. I met a whole bunch of people at South by Southwest 2018. And, from there I opened for MC Chris in San Francisco, and then he decided to book me on his national tour in fall of 2018 with Horrorcore. So we went on tour in 2018 for 7 weeks all across the U.S. And yeah, that was the start of really good things because, tours with Chris are always great. A lot of people got to see what I do, and a lot of people became acquainted with my performance and my music. And those fans have kind of stuck with me since then. And they came out again. They actually requested to see me again last year in 2019. So I went on tour with MC Chris again in 2019 last year. And yeah, that was, it was, that's basically the progression of my career. And as far as the entry point, as I said, 2016, I didn't really necessarily kind of stumble into nerdcore by accident, which a lot of people did. I kind of targeted it as like a target market. I was like, okay, these people are going to enjoy my sound, my voice, the things I talk about. They're going to love it. So it was like a target marketing effort. I was like, okay, I'm going to make music to impress these people. And I'm going to direct my music at these people. And it worked. So
that's really cool. I always love hearing those stories, just because everyone's story is pretty damn different. And then on top of that, it's, as you were talking about how just naturally it made sense for that to be your target audience, it's kind of like the way it worked out where a lot of the guests we've booked are either cosplayers or nerdcore rappers, just because it's such a fit in terms of crossover interest and everything, where it's always just been a lot of like fun meeting all y'all. But no, I'm definitely excited. You do a national tour again, we went to go see, after we had Shubs and Bill on, when we knew they were going to go on their tour, we actually coordinated to go see them in Austin. So it was nice actually meeting up with them in person and everything. So definitely if you swing by, especially Austin or San Antonio area, we're there, like 100%. And like once your album drops and tour and everything, we always like to use our ad spot area and everything like that to plug y'all, because once y'all have been on here as a guest, we always got y'all. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So That's good to hear. I'm really excited about
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, you guys are in Austin or San Antonio? Which one?
San Antonio, but we can make the commute if needed to an Austin gig.
Like, I mean, Austin's like an hour away.
Yeah, it's not too far. Yeah. Well, I don't know when my next tour is. Honestly, it kind of depends on what opportunities are out there.
Right.
But I'm sure that Austin or San Antonio is not far off, and yeah, you will be hearing about it when it happens.
Sweet. That is awesome to hear. So, with all that, when it comes to soundtracks, is there a particular... You can do one of each or whatever, or if you just have, like, that one choice. Anime or video game soundtrack that still sticks with you for, like, forever. Like, even if it's from, like, a long time ago, it still gets you hyped every time you hear it.
I have a great story about this.
Go for it. Awesome.
While I was on tour with MC Chris last year in 2019, I was talking to my tour mate about how all of a sudden, just randomly, I, like, remembered that I used to play Mega Man X5 and Mega Man X6, like, on the PS1. And this is when I had, like, a PlayStation when I was much younger, and it had just, those games had just come out. And I don't know where I got this memory from, but then I, like, looked up all the soundtracks. I was like, I remember the music to these games, and I just listened to the music of Mega Man X5, I think, and it just, like, brought back memories. And I was like, whoa, like, I really like this game. So yeah, Mega Man X5 and X6 had some really great soundtracks that I think I will always remember because I played those games over and over when I was super young. I don't remember, like, how old I was, but it had to be, like, a formative time, like, maybe, like, 7 or 8 years old, or, like, 9 years old. Yeah, like, before I was a teenager. So, yeah, those games.
Yeah, the Mega Man X6 soundtrack, I remember, I never played too much of it. X5 I played a whole bunch of, but I remember, like, being on online forums and people just talking about the Mega Man X6 soundtrack, like, even though they didn't really care much for the game, because I know it got a lot of criticism, but the soundtrack was blowing people away because I think it was one of the first ones where they were straight up using, like, electrical guitars and stuff like that. Like, the quality was... it wasn't always just, the MIDI sound.
Right, it was actual, like, full-on, like, music.
Yeah, so people were just like, yo, this soundtrack's, like, really sick.
Yeah, it's really good. The X series is ever great. I just love the fact that we haven't had any repeats. Like, with all the guests we've had in the last, like, 3+ months, everyone has always had a different, like, soundtrack. So I just love that. From Persona to Mega Man, it's really awesome that, like, you hear that. Because that's the thing, everyone just has that soundtrack that, like, really stuck with them. And anyone who's played any amount of games, like, has heard something where they're just like, yeah, I still think of that to this day, which is, like, really cool to hear. So, yeah, no, good choices. And Mega Man always had great... Yeah. Like, Mega Man 2 soundtrack for me is just, like, the one I always, like, kind of remember, especially Wily. It's probably all Mega Man's fault, the fact that I hear all of Mega Man's songs, because Mega Man just constantly, of course.
Yeah, he samples, like, a whole bunch.
It's really good. The way he samples is so good.
I just remember way back when there was that one pretty popular video. I think it was, like, a Japanese medley of Wily's Castle.
That's the best part. I love it, even though I could, like, never really beat all of the Wily stuff because that shit's hard, of course.
Yeah, sadly, even though I've, like, played a few X games, I've yet to ever beat one.
Right.
I'm just that bad at these.
They're hard. That's also, it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Reflexes aren't what they used to be, and I can definitely vouch for that when I play Contra. I remember being a lot better at that. It took me, it's embarrassing how many deaths it took me to beat the first stage. When my brother and I used to at least blaze through the first couple of stages with, like, no deaths, and I'm just like, this is embarrassing. What the hell am I doing?
I know, it took me 3 tries earlier tonight to defeat Chill Penguin. I felt, like, disappointed with myself. I was like, I should have gotten this on the second try, if that. Yeah, I felt bad.
Any interesting tour life stories? I'm sure there's always some. Is there anyone you're allowed? You feel comfortable talking about? Because I remember that Chubbs told us when she wilded out one time. That was a fun story. But anything interesting?
Oh boy,
I'm sure there's a lot.
What type of interesting? Because, like, I've been on tour in the last, like, 2 years, like 2018, 2019, I've been on tour 3 times, and, like, each of those tours was very different, and we went to, like, pretty different places. So I don't know. Do you have like a type of story you want to hear?
Just to give a couple examples of something the past guest talked about is like, for example, Omai didn't necessarily have his own anecdote, but he did talk about the time that he missed out when like IQ was hanging out with Nobuo Uematsu or whatever, and then like totally missed out on that moment. And then, you know, Shub just talked about one time where she got really fucked up during a show and then, like, barely remembered it, but obviously survived it. Just anything where you just feel it's like a fun tell, I guess. A good tale for the road.
Yeah, I got a perfect one. Okay. While you were talking, I was thinking, and, like, I found a really good one that, like, actually made it in the rest of my stage banter for the rest of the tour. So, in this last tour in 2019, we went from the West Coast up and then through kind of the empty quarter, like all the way through the North in the U.S., and then, you know, looped back around to the East Coast, right, which is where I live. And we played Montana. We played Missoula, Montana on the 18th of October, and it was a Friday show, and it was in a VFW in Missoula, and I think, like, some people had like a connection to the VFW and ended up getting a book at the VFW. So it was a interesting space. There wasn't that much space, but it was packed. Like there were so many people. I was not expecting like a Friday night in Missoula to be like that lit, and it was just fantastic. Like everyone was really, really hyped. And I have a song called Glasses. Do you guys know that one? It goes, "Get off your asses. I'm a rap star, hit him with the glasses," right? And then so, like, when I do it live, I tell people to say, "Get off your asses. I'm a rap star, hit him with the glasses." And then while I was doing this song, I was like, "Get off your asses. I'm a rap star, hit him with the glasses." And as I was saying, "hit him with the glasses," I feel this, like, thing graze the side of my head. And in the heat of the moment, I didn't really understand what it was, and I had no idea what just happened. And I just finished the thing. And then, after the song, I looked down and was like, someone just threw their glasses at me.
That took it very literal.
It's not like someone needed them to see or anything.
Someone just literally hit me with the glasses. And they're next to me on the floor. You need these to see, don't you?
Right. Yeah. I can only imagine.
And I picked them up. Yeah, and I put them in my car. And I put them in, like, the glove box. I was like, I'm going to make a post on Facebook and see if anyone wants their glasses back, because these are prescription, and they probably need them. No one ever responded. I was like, hey, like, someone hit me with the glasses. You want it back? No one responded.
Like, oh.
Everyone was like, haha, that's so funny, but, like, the owner of the glasses never claimed them. So I still probably have it somewhere. They're not my prescription, so I can't use them.
You're right, yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
it's like, oh, wow.
Hopefully they were someone's old pair.
Right. Maybe
they got a prescription just to throw at her at the show.
Yeah.
That's like, they were dedicated. They were just like, I need another pair of prescription right now that I need for tonight's show. Why? You'll find that soon.
You'll know.
Highly not recommended.
Yeah, I'm glad that it didn't.
Really dangerous.
Yeah, that's throwing shit on. You know, when I used to be in a thrash metal band, and some of those shows got pretty wild. Like, key advice to anybody of like any type of genre at any show: don't throw shit at people on the stage. Like, there's no situation in which, unless it's a bunch of money, that's like maybe. But
yes, throw your money, please.
Throw your money on the stage. But other than that, like, don't throw like items like glasses or fucking. You know, don't throw your own shoe. Yeah. Like there was that thing where they were talking about it at Fitzgerald's locally, where Justice was talking about how there was like a hip hop show and folk punk show. First of all, that was a weird crowd to mix together. There was a booking error, I think. And so there was a lot of tension in the crowd already, and then someone threw a mic stand, and it became like a brawl, and it was the whole thing. So, like, this is the kind of stuff that can come out of that bullshit. Like, you know, sometimes it just comes out as a hilarious tale, and then other times it became a tale of a little grimmer stuff. Like, you know, so... don't do that shit.
I would say, to be fair, considering the verbiage used, that situation could have been worse.
Yeah.
So,
I was actually
silver lining thing that it was eyeglasses.
Like, I was still expecting her to say someone threw a whiskey glass at me.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh
no.
Yeah. So at least that happened.
Jeez. But it's
yeah, that was pretty wild. That was a good show, though. A good show. I would go back to the school. They were very fun.
Nice.
let this story help people think twice with their lyrical content.
Can you imagine if we did, like, at the Shub show, she was so aggressive, if we did half the shit that she had said, like, in the song, we would have all killed each other.
Yeah.
We would not be here.
She has that... She has this song called Broken Glass where it's about her, like, getting cut off by, like a aggressive driver, and she just slashes her up with, like, the broken glass. So
yeah. I think she did that song on the show. Yeah, I think she actually did that song at the last show we went to. So, yeah, see, if we imitated what she said, we would all be dead.
Let me just bring my car into the venue.
Bring your car into the venue and cut someone off. Yeah. That was a good show, though, with MC Chris and Shubs and Bill. And the opening band...
wasn't it All Monsters Attack?
All Monsters Attack. I never heard of them before.
Or was it Destroy All Monsters? No, I think it was
All Monsters Attack. That was the one. They were really good.
It was a Godzilla reference.
It was a Godzilla reference.
It was good. It was good shit, though.
Yeah, for the one group there that we didn't know, that we didn't go there for, like, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean...
I liked it.
Yeah, that's dope, yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
They were fun. I feel bad for not buying a shirt or something from them.
Yeah. We were there for Shubs and Bill primarily, so it was one of those things where, of course. Which is why when we get our Lex
Hope
t-shirts...
you bought a shirt from them!
Yeah, I did. I was actually
CD.
just wearing my Shub shirt the other day. Oh, yeah, you had the CD.
Yeah, I bought the CD, had them sign it.
I like doing the shirts. So, yeah, whenever Lex comes by, it's shirt time.
Yep.
We're going to have to have the merch on there so we can do that.
Yeah, I have 2 shirt designs right now. One of them is like a shadowy doorway person, like entering your doorway, like a really like badass like supervillain shirt. And then I have another one that has like gold lettering. It has like gold foil. Looks really cool. And then I think once the new album comes out, I'm gonna I'm gonna make a new shirt once the new album comes out, and I'm probably gonna have a whole bunch of new sticker designs because this new album is just it's so weird. Like, so much of the content is so weird and bizarre, and there's some really funny lines that make me crack up, and I just want to put them all on stickers, and like, I want people to put them on their cars, and have other people be like, what is that?
What the hell? Yes,
that's like
good.
everything I buy.
Stickers are always fun. I think stickers are some of the best merch. I always tell people, when you're going to do merch, stickers is always one of the best things because they're usually cheap enough that, like, even if someone's not going to be able to fork out for a shirt or a CD, you can grab probably a sticker, and like, I just love it. It's just a cool little thing to pick up. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
My favorite merch item that I have is glasses cleaners that have my logo on them because they're really cheap to make. Yeah, they're cheap to make. You don't throw them away, and it's not a piece of paper. You kind of like keep them in your glasses case for like all of your life or like however long you have it, and they're really good. And every time you use the glasses cleaner, it reminds you of me.
There you go.
Like,
that's kind of merch.
Yeah, people really like that one, and
that's
they
cool.
like, it's a targeted marketing thing too. It's like, okay, I know most of my audience will probably wear glasses. Maybe like 60 to 70% of my audience will wear glasses, so they'll probably really like the glasses cleaner, right? Yeah, it's like demand, need. Fulfills a need. I don't know.
Now that is an item. That is an item that you'll want to hit with the glasses.
Yeah, there you go. You can hit that with the glasses.
For safe glasses hitting, buy this glasses cleaner.
Yeah, instead of hitting her with glasses, let's just do that. Yeah, that works. All right, before we get into the news, there's a bit of it. I'm probably going to glaze through the not important shit. But before we get into it, let's do the plugs. Ms. Mallory, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at awesome_Mally. And then soon on YouTube somewhere.
Soon, one day.
Soon.
Josh?
Someday on the YouTubes.
YouTubes.
Twitter and Instagram at Yoshiro Joestar. YouTube, Shiro Play 5. Yeah. I had to remember. And
Ms. Lex, where can we find all your stuffs at? It's going to be linked below, of course, but aside that, off the top of your head, where can everybody find you?
Yeah. Please find me online at Lex the Lexicon Artist. My Instagram and Twitter handle is LEXTHE Con Artist. That comes out to Lex the Con Artist. Nice. Please make sure to follow me on there because I'm going to start the album promo stuff pretty soon. And if you want to hear the new stuff, if you want to listen to my old stuff, whoever listening to this not familiar with me, If you want to listen to my old stuff, go catch up on it. But make sure that you are in the loop for the new stuff, because I think it's really good. I'm excited about it. And I post all my updates on Instagram and Twitter, so go follow me over there, Lexicon Artist.
There you go. And of course, we're going to have that all linked below. And you can find all my stuff at ZD Rocker, as well as at SlimNationEntertainment.com, and the podcast itself at DisconnectedCast.com. It'll take you all the links, Spotify, Apple Music, you find us at all the places. So we're going to be on there. No more Radio Public stuff, because, you know, they're not doing that anymore.
Oh.
But still, Radio Public still, yeah, you should still check them out anyways, because if they bring it back,
yeah,
we can be on there again. Alright, so, what happened? What can I just run through? Oh, one thing that did happen that I was laughing when I was listening to the latest Castle Super Beast podcast episode is, Pat inadvertently calls out Mike Matei's recent nonsense, because, like, they were talking about some game and that it was, like, you know, truly beating... Oh, they were talking about Celeste, and then they were talking about how they have accessibility options, but pre-2018, if you used any of the accessibility options or assist mode on Celeste, it would mark your save file as used some sort of assist, but then people were like, well, the whole point of having assist is maybe they have some sort of disability or something that prevents them from playing the game a certain way, so they need that help, or perhaps they just can't beat the game, so they need help, or whatever the reason is. You know, so eventually they patched it out so you can, it'll add that mark, but then you can just remove it if you don't, you know, so it's
like
equal.
don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, you know, I don't want people to know I use assists, because I feel called out if I you know, use it whatever. So they were talking about that, and then Pat just goes, for anyone who knows the recent tweet with Mike Matei, where he was talking about how people who, you know, people now who use...
Mike Matei doesn't see this?
Yeah, people who... I know, we asked him to be a guest. Oh my god. Anyways, so for those who don't know, he was basically like, people who beat Nintendo games now on emulators and use save states aren't really beating the game, is in a nutshell what he's saying, which there's arguments for and against. I get where he's coming from, but I will preface it is like, I get it, because... You know, if you beat something in a harder state, I understand that luxury of life qualities and everything have changed. That's what the argument is against him, is that the times have changed, so you need a save file. You know, just because there was no saves on NES and you were fucked back then doesn't mean you have to be fucked now.
Yeah.
But anyways, so... Then Pat just said, yeah, or you could just say some shit like, and imitated the quote and just goes, dumb fuck. And I was just like, okay, well, we're going there, I guess, but that was the whole thing. So he never used it by name, but anyone, it was clearly in context. He was referring to that tweet that has been quite a bit of controversy. It's not the first time he's had a controversy. Mike Matei has a lot of quote-unquote hot takes that have gotten him in hot water before. So, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have James Rolfe on the other side. Even though he's the angry video game nerd, has probably been one of the least controversial content creators since arguably starting the genre of video game content creation. I would say that it's fair to say that AVGN is the godfather of all that stuff, because, I mean, he's been doing it pretty much before YouTube was really what it is now. So, yeah, but anyways, I thought that was really funny, because we were talking about that tweet recently and kind of talking about all the sides of it.
It's funny, because when I was playing Mega Man X, like, instead of... You know, when you lose or whatever, it'll show the password, but you can just save your data.
Of course you can just save
I was like, man, I wonder if Mike Mateo would be mad that I'm not using the password like it's supposed to be used.
Yeah, to me, as long as stuff like that is fine, unless you're cheesing it out, where, like, what I did in Contra, just because I got to a really hard part, and I didn't want to keep wasting my lives, is I just kept reloading a step earlier, just to try to lose as little lives as possible till the end of the level. That's a little shitty for me to do. I understand that. But to me, as long as you're not just straight up cheating, I don't think it's necessarily wrong, because again, so if you're playing a game where there is no password system, or if there is a password system and you can just save, why the fuck would you still use the password system? I get that. To me, that's not as bad. You could still beat the game even if you saved over a course of a week or a month. But if you're using like infinite lives or invincibility, obviously you didn't really beat the game. I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, it was just very poorly worded, and then on top of that, it was just... You know, the times have changed. If a NES game is broken and shitty and they have a fixed version, there's no reason that you shouldn't use the fixed version. So, I don't know. What do you think, Lex? Do you think people who use save states in emulators, is that dirty since you played games that in its natural state back in the day?
Did you say people using emulators is dirty?
No. Like people who use like the quality of life features of an emulator, like saving in a game where there wasn't saving back in the day, because you have a lot.
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't think that's dirty at all. I don't think there's a right way to play a video game. I think that the right way to play a video game is to enjoy it and have fun and like use it to like de-stress. Like I mean, I used a whole bunch of emulators when I played like the Pokemon games that weren't compatible for like my console. So when they went into like Ruby and Sapphire and like even like Diamond and Pearl, I don't think like any of the emulators for DS were very good. But I definitely got like a Visual Boy Advance to play like all of like the third generation games. And like like I mean, you kind of have to save for that for that game. So I don't think that's a very very good example. But like sometimes I watch these people who do like speed runs of like Kaiser Mario or like I don't know one of those like really difficult like man-made like Mario levels, and like they'll like save and or find some other way to like make sure that they save their progress as opposed to having to overdo it. And it's just like that's just part of it.
Yeah.
It's just part of like managing the difficulty of it, and like it's fun for the viewer too. Like a viewer is watching a speed run to see them succeed, not to see them die over and over.
Right. Yep. And I agree with that. I think that, like I said, I feel his heart was in the right place. It's just not necessarily. It's boomer talk. I mean, let's just be real. That's what it was.
It's purist talk. I hear it purist talk.
You
don't think it's right.
Yeah, Josh and I had a really long conversation about this, and then I related it to the when Jim Sterling was arguing about how an easy mode in a FromSoft game doesn't hurt anybody, but a lot of people, of course, are like, Dark Souls is supposed to be hard, so an easy mode diminishes this, but then he made the argument, which is basically what we're talking about right now, which is it hurting you, though? Are you using the easy mode? You don't have to. So, it's the same thing with some of these older NES games that didn't have a save thing. I'm not going to beat the first 4 stages over and over again when I can just start from stage 5 again, because that's where I died. So to me, that's like fine. But I understand that in the true essence, again, the purist, gatekeeping, whatever you want to call it, I get it. Back then when he beat it, though, when he was back in high school and there was none of this bullshit, yes, but would he have then if it was an option? You can't say now. It's hard to relate when we have the technology now. So it's. I get it. For sure. But
and like going into accessibility, like there was this was a few years ago, but there was a guy who's blind, and he finally completed Ocarina of Time. And the way his setup was is he would play it on emulation because he needed save states, and he would use a surround system around his chair so that he could kind of hear where things are around him. But the save state was a necessity because if he's walking, like say, you're in a dungeon, you're walking on a bridge, and you can fall off and die, then he just loads it right at that point.
No, start over.
Start over at the beginning of the dungeon, please. But he knows, okay, don't turn left, keep going like this direction or whatever. So when I see, knowing that is a thing, that this is how this person is able to enjoy this game and complete this game, it's like, so Mike Mateo, you're going to tell this guy that he didn't beat Zelda?
And I get that, and that is a good example. That is a very good example of something he obviously didn't consider. And I know where he was coming from. Again, in his defense, he was speaking about people like me, where my only disability is I suck at video games. So that's a disability that I cannot help, but it's a thing I have where I'm not good at, especially older video games. So I'm the person he was obviously attacking, but he obviously didn't think about that guy who has a real disability.
So when you lose at video games, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm disabled."
I'm disabled. I'm disabled. I fell off 1,000 times on the same bridge because I'm an idiot. So there's that.
Okay.
But anyways, so that's my disability. But
it's good you signed up for SSI right now.
Title of this episode.
Final Fantasy. The title of this episode is going to be "I'm Disabled." No, anyways, no, it's not. Don't worry.
No, that might be.
There's already an episode. It's called "Fuck Pokemon." But before we get to that, because that's the main topic, is how Pokemon became EA. If you guys do want to hear about that later on, we'll stick to the end. But other than that, Final Fantasy 15 is doing a new mobile game. Who gives a fuck? It's a mobile game. There's no good mobile games, so there's that. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, though. Here's some real news. Recently came out on PC, even though that shit's been out on console for fucking forever already. So what it's doing to some people, and it's ever epic, like, this is when PC Master Race is not really the greatest case. It's deleting some people's save files, so people with hundreds and hundreds of hours on Monster Hunter World are just getting fucked, because it's just deleting random people's save files, so bit of a problem. Capcom working on a patch ASAP, however, there is no real patch that's going to undo the deletion of a save file, so you're just kind of fucked there. So that's a thing that's happening. Another weird thing is that despite the fact that, again, it's been out on console for a long time, they do have streaming and content creator guidelines of you're only able to go up to a certain mission, and then the rest of it's blacklisted. You're not supposed to be streaming or showing the rest for the PC player audience, let's say, because it is new to PC, so they're still considering it new content for PC players, and they don't want you spoiling it for them.
I think by now they would do like synchronized releases.
You would think, but I guess Capcom's still not perfect. So
yeah, because I mean, it's been on PC for some time before Iceborne came out, so that's weird.
No, well, they're talking about the Iceborne content. That's what's limited.
Right, but I'm saying, like, it's been on PC for some time. You'd think they would have just synchronized the release.
Oh, yeah, no, they would, but apparently the PC version's a little janky, like, compared to the... And it was, because the frame rate was shit.
Yeah,
it was pretty much unplayable when it first came out, because that game ran at, like, fucking sub-30 for a while. So it was bad. Like, so
yeah, I remember Daniel talking about how bad it was.
Yeah, it had its issues, and again, deleting save files, a problem that's never been present on the console versions, finding its way. So whoever's running the code at for the PC port is having a bit of issues. So there's that. Lex, are you a big Monster Hunter fan? Played much of it or not at all?
I haven't played any of it.
Yeah. Well, Monster Hunter, it's still fairly new to being big in the West, so I definitely would say with the console release, it definitely was a thing where... I remember someone was telling Pat at Castle Super Bees about how it was never going to be big here, and that it's like, there's no point in wasting money on a console version because it's just not going to hit big in the West.
And then it was like
Monster
one of
Hunter
the
World
biggest
came
selling
out.
titles.
It is the biggest selling Capcom title to date, so there's that in terms of like time release to now to units sold. Their biggest game, bigger than Street Fighter, bigger than... because a lot of people were like, well, Street Fighter 2... Well, Street Fighter 2 has been around for how long and has sold how many... They're talking about, like, for the fact that Monster Hunter World is, like, 3 years old and, you know, from then to now has sold more than when Street Fighter 2 was 3 years old. So there's that. But anyways, so yes, because of that you would think, but yeah, so it's really interesting that they're having these issues on the PC port, but, oh well. It is kind of weird, though, how, like... If someone was to watch a console content creator, though, they could spoil it for themselves. So the risk is still there. Yeah. To me, it's the same risk anyways. Just like, put your usual... Watch out if you haven't got to Iceborne. Don't watch this shit, obviously. Yeah. So there's that. But I heard Iceborne's pretty good, though, despite that. So
Noelle likes it a lot.
It's cool that it's out on PC now. It just sucks that it has that pretty bad bug.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 3, of course, Switch port coming out in March, I believe was what they slated it for. I totally forgot. But it is coming out soon, though, for Switch. One thing that everyone's getting kind of hyped about is they did say that they were going to be adding a feature that didn't exist in the original version to the Switch version, and it seems like it may be an exclusive feature. That's kind of what people are worried about in the sense that it's a cool feature, is that they seem to be, from leaked screenshots, not leaked, but from the screenshots released, style switching, which was not present in the original. You had to go to the Swordmaster to switch your style. Now you can just do it on the fly using a selection and do it like you do now in the modern Devil May Cry, adding the 3. And that is a huge quality of life thing, because that was bullshit. Every time you wanted to change a thing to go back to the guy again to switch it. So
that'll be nice. That's
really cool that they're adding that. But of course, if it is going to be a Switch version exclusive feature, people on PC and PS4 are just like, and Xbox too, I forgot it's on there also. They're just like, the fuck? Like, but that's so good! Like, that's gonna make the game for some people, pretty trivial to just have the right style available on the fly, as opposed to like, oops, chose the wrong style before I went here. Sucks for me. Yeah. So a lot of people are like, please patch this into the other ones. But
want to play Devil May Cry 3, but kind of make it feel like 5 a little bit? Here you go.
Exactly. And the thing that made people worry a bit that it's like, so some people are kind of like, well, maybe they will patch in the other ones. A good example that Pat brought up that maybe leads to the fact that they might not is that all the cool features that they added in the Dragon Quest XI port on Switch still hasn't reached any of the other versions on PS4 or otherwise. So it kind of seems like maybe that really will just be for Devil May Cry 3 on Switch. So people are kind of like, God damn it.
Isn't Devil May Cry 3 on Switch is going to be its own game. On the PS4, isn't it just part of the HD?
It's part of the HD collection, or it's part of the collection.
So
yeah, that could be an argument for why. Yeah. Although on Steam you can buy just 3 special editions, so maybe who knows. But anyways, so for now, the superior version and the way to play that game in terms of like a quality of life thing, maybe it's not cheating to use that, but some people might go, you didn't really beat Devil May Cry 3 because you're using style switching. But that is going to be available, so there's that. Lex, are you a fan of Devil May Cry? Have you any of those games?
No, I'm really not familiar with any of it. Should I be?
It's really good.
Should I look into it?
Maybe, if you have PS4, definitely at least play 5. Like 5 is a lot of fun.
5 was really good.
Yeah. So I would say
Devil May Cry is an action adventure hack and slash video game series.
Don't play the second one.
Okay.
Don't play the second
one. The second one's really bad.
Is it a first person or is it
third person?
It's third person.
So
okay.
Definitely worth checking out. A lot of stuff.
I'm like trying to think of other games to compare it to.
Other than Bayonetta.
I was say the only one that comes to mind is Bayonetta, which is like from the same original team.
Yeah, exactly. It's just because Platinum didn't get it work for Capcom anymore. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
So.
Oh, many of the enemies are also named after the 7 deadly sins, such as Hell Pride or Hell Lust. That's really funny because it reminds me of, guess what? Full Metal Alchemist.
There you go. It went full circle.
Yeah.
You actually.
Everyone loves 7 deadly sins.
Yeah,
including the anime 7 Deadly Sins.
There's fun. That.
This is fun. Oh, it looks like. Yeah. So I guess it's. I'm just reading the wiki on it. Based on Divine Comedy. Cool. Yeah, Japanese people have a really interesting fascination with this, like, the European stuff. It's funny because we're fascinated with the Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how that works, right? It's just like whenever you see those memes about like America booze, and you just imagine like some really Japanese guy just being like, "Yeah, I want to be American." I don't want to do a weird racist accent, so it's just gonna be like we're just gonna speak normally and just be like, "Yeah, I'm America, man. I'm call me Jim," and he just has a huge flag and an eagle hat and shit like that, and he's just like, "Yeah." But somehow, whenever the Japanese do America in a game, it's 1,000 times cooler. And then like when Play for Platinum or fucking anyone does, like in fucking Vanquish. There's those bullshit, like, interpretation of, like, how the actual Marine Corps is, or the Space Marine Corps, as it would be, and it's just like, that's so much cooler than what it actually is, which is nothing. So there's that. But yeah, there's a way to check on that. Couple of cool Switch mods came out recently, or at least were shared recently. One of them was someone, so there's a Chinese knockoff GameCube Joy-Cons you can buy, but there's a few issues with it. Kind of squishy, doesn't feel like the actual GameCube controller feel, which is what people obviously want to try to emulate when you use a GameCube controller-esque thing.
Right.
But someone actually made a much nicer quality split Joy-Con for use. I believe they used the model of an actual GameCube controller, split it, did all the inner guts things, and now it's workable Joy-Cons for that, which is really cool if you're a big fan of the the GameCube controller is definitely one of the more popular ones, especially among Smash players, obviously. It's the preferred way to play. So there's that. But the thing that really caught my attention, I thought was cool, was the cool NES dock that someone used the gutted NES and then turned it into their Switch dock, which is awesome. I'm sure there's guides on how to do your own custom docks, because some people find either the one cumbersome, or they want to do something like this where they want to put it in the body of something else. And I just love the way it looks. Like the way it sits in there perfectly and is obviously fully functional. that to me is probably one of the... I've seen a lot of Switch dock mods, but that's definitely one of the cooler ones. Especially being a big fan of the NES. The only one that I would like more, obviously, would be a SNES.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool, but I like it, though.
Yeah.
I always think of, like, when I think of, like, the top-load stuff, though, I think of AVGN whenever I think of the top-load NES that he kind of popularized, even though that one kind of came out... I believe it did eventually come out in the States, but, like, way past the NES's life cycle. Like, the NES was already on its way out when they finally dropped the top-loader here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so there's that. Lex, do you have a Switch yourself, or do you only play when you're at your friend's house when you were playing that visual novel game?
I don't own a Switch, but I do play at my friend's house, and my friend his name is Super Spec, and he actually has a Switch themed jacket, and he got it custom made. So I don't know if you want to look up his like photo. He has this jacket where it's like the two sides of the Switch, the neon red and the neon blue.
Nice.
On his jacket. It's really cool, and like every single time he like does this performance, people are like, "Why'd you get that jacket?" He was like, "I designed it myself."
Nice.
So that's like as much as I know about the Switch, but it's like that jacket's really cool. And I'm like looking at this Reddit link you sent me just now. How does this even work? Like he's like plugging the Switch into what looks like it's a docking station, but it looks like much older.
Yep.
How does this work?
Yeah, he basically took the guts of the dock that comes with the full on Switch that he uses, and he took the guts out of that and put it into an old school regular Nintendo, and then got it to function from that. So aesthetically it looks dope, even though I'm sure it was probably a lot of effort, but it does look really cool though.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can do that, and then I was like, yeah, you can do that. Yep. You can with a lot of screwdrivers and like tinkering around with like the little things. You can do that.
Yep, getting it to sit properly.
Wow.
But it looks like it fits real snug, which is awesome.
It's definitely kind of like a mind fuck.
Yeah,
like I'm looking at them.
You're just going to
yeah.
Yep. So that was floating around Reddit today, and so I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow.
But
I love this comment that someone made. Yeah, like he didn't have to blow in it, and it worked amazing.
Yeah. There's that. Oh god, if I have to start blowing into my Switch, oh my god, that would make no sense because all my shit's digital. But anyways,
just pull out the Switch.
Yeah. So Alienware recently announced such an original console. First of all, this is going to end in a huge lawsuit, so we already know. This thing's... It was shown at CES. I don't even think this thing's going to make it into production before Nintendo hit... Nintendo is very Sue-happy, so trust this shit is not going to come into production. So imagine this. Alienware, in their never-ending brilliance, thought of a very unique idea. They thought, what if you could take gaming to go, right? So Alienware was just like, let's do this. So they thought of a console, and the main portion is, it's a screen. It has two removable controllers, in which maybe you want to use them as two smaller controllers to play with a friend.
Sounds very new.
You could do that.
I've never heard of anything like this in my life.
And then then they thought, well, let's take it a bit further, right? Maybe you're not going to share this controller. They have a little cradle that holds the two controllers that can come out as if it's like a regular controller when you dock the two Joy-Con, two mini controllers into the sides, and so you can use it, like a regular controller. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. It is Dell, for those who don't know. Dell owns Alienware. It's just Dell stupidity. They think that this is going to be a thing. So they showed it off at CES. They either have the best lawyers on earth that are going to somehow pull it off where they get away with this, or Nintendo's going to do what they do to content creators and everybody else and slap them with the old CND, and the Project UFO, or whatever the fuck they're calling it, is not going to be a thing anymore. But obviously it's going to be linked below. You guys can check that out. It is the most shameless, like... The fact that the accessories are even a rip-off of the Switch's accessories as well is crazy. If it was just like a handheld thing that looked Switch-esque, I would have been like... I would have just let it go and just been like, oh, it's a portable PC, handheld, whatever. Yeah. But the fact that the controllers are removable and it comes with a little cradle thing, like the fucking Switch, is just like, you guys didn't even try. Like, you just took the homework and ripped it off wholesale. Not to mention, it's probably going to be much more than $300. Because it's Alienware.
Yeah.
So, just not... probably not even going to be a thing, but even if it does become a thing, maybe not even worth the price point depending on what they slap on it. So, yeah.
I mean, did they try to come up with a new idea?
Right, I know. It's like you didn't even try. Speaking of things with no games, the Xbox Series X recently announced that it will be launching with no exclusive titles, which is an interesting move, but a more honest move, because I'd rather they say something like that rather than when Sony is going to have like Knack 2 or Knack 3, whatever the fuck they're on now, and some other bullshit game no one cares about, and be like, yeah, the PlayStation 5 launched with exclusives. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You just launched with 2 games no one gives a fuck about. Because when the PS4 launched, it was the only game I wanted to play on their fucking Second Son. The rest of the launch lineup sucked. And that's just a thing. It's just a problem consoles have had since, like, Xbox and PS2. Just not much out for it. That's just part of the launch period. So, I did like the fact that they did just kind of go straight up, and they were just like, there is going to be new Microsoft IP stuff, like Forza and Gears, but since it's going to be out on PC also, it's not what they consider a console exclusive, so it isn't. So they're also at least not lying about that and playing the field where they're just like, ooh, it's a console exclusive. So they're just being honest and they're saying that. One thing they did announce that is really interesting is the fact that apparently your Epic library and Steam library will be compatible with the Xbox Series X. Which just further shows that it's just the gaming PC. But the fact that you're just going all in on it and being like, no, like literally, like your libraries are now going to merge with the Xbox library. I think it's really smart.
That's cool.
Because now you're going to go, now I can play my console, like stuff that's only coming out, third-party stuff to Xbox and PlayStation. But now I can also use the same thing to also play my Steam and Epic Game Store stuff. So now they are adding some value to it to make it be like, for people who maybe they don't care about some of the stuff like the anime games that come out on there. If you're not a big fighting game guy or anime game person, perhaps there isn't much of a draw on the PlayStation side. Yeah. It kind of makes you consolidate everything now into a, this probably would have been appropriate to call the Xbox One. So it's interesting.
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah. Right. I think that it's kind of funny that it took this long, but despite the bad naming convention, this is starting to at least start off as one of the smarter sounding and more appealing sounding Xbox stuff. Because everyone knows that Xbox is notorious for like their initial impression shit. Yeah. I mean, if you just go back to Xbox One where they were trying to do the always online DRM, even though that never saw it at launch, that was already gone way before it launched, it was still a thing where they were not the greatest at saying stuff that's supposed to get people hyped. Yeah. DRM, guys! And then they got surprised and everyone got angry.
Yeah. Kind of wonder if Microsoft went to Steam and was like, hey, remember the Steam box that didn't launch? And then they turned into the Will Smith meme?
Yeah. And they're just like, how about a good version? I could see that being a thing, especially because they have been playing really well with Steam, and they even did the thing where when it came to... The Epic thing to me is the more surprising thing. Because they actually kind of did take Epic head on, where they were just like, oh yeah, we're giving Steam some of the Microsoft shit, because fuck y'all. And then now it will work with it, so that's interesting. Lex, I'm going to assume not, but much Xbox experience? Anything like any? Most of our guesses are no on that, so... Any Xbox appeal?
When I was younger, I played a lot of this, like, kind of Chinese series called Dynasty Warriors, on Xbox. Yeah, and it was, like, I played, like, Dynasty Warriors 3, 4, 5. I think there were that many. I don't know. But, like, I played a whole bunch of that, and it was cool because, like, they had a lot of characters from, like, Chinese mythology and folklore and, history, so... in a way I could like really relate to that, even though it was very much like a like a third person hack and slash as well. But like, it was fun.
Nice.
On Xbox.
Yeah, on Xbox. Yep. Oh yeah, for those if someone have just jumped into that conversation, just so yes, everyone knows we're talking about in the terms of like her playing it on Xbox, because obviously those games were also on.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that the libraries are starting to get blended a little bit. The main difference being that PlayStation also has more like exclusives plus the merged library. But the fact that you are getting all these Final Fantasy games on both consoles, because at one point obviously you would go to Sony if you wanted to play Final Fantasy, now you don't have to. The Yakuza series is going to start trickling over to Xbox as well. It does seem like they're actually starting to pull some titles that again, they're just doing such a good job of trying to appeal to everybody, and it doesn't even come off, at least not to me anyways, as even pandering way. They seem to just be doing it in a very smart marketing way. They were just like the why not both kind of argument of like, well, you know, yes, most people who are into fighting games and RPGs probably don't buy an Xbox, but why not? Maybe some of the crossover, maybe just because you like Halo doesn't mean you won't like Yakuza, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? They're trying to do, which is smart, because they almost seem to be almost like xenophobic in a way back in the day where they were just like, only Xbox titles, we don't really give a shit. And then that's what kind of caused the shrinkage of the library, is they didn't sign too many third-party deals.
Yeah.
And then now they went all in on just their Xbox exclusives, but then they literally alienated people who aren't into racing games or shooters.
Yeah.
So now they seem to have, like, you know, they're like very slow learning, but I think that this gen may be the one where Xbox will hit most of the nails on the head. They'll still miss a few because they're just very out of touch with that stuff. Yeah. But all the three companies, you know, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, though, all have their shortcomings. Where they're just kind of dropping the ball. You know, you have Sony with the bad netcoding and the bad online system and stuff like that, and then you have Xbox where there's missing games, and you have Nintendo who kind of doesn't know how to do a little bit of column A and doesn't know how to do a little bit of column B. They're kind of caught in between the flaws of PlayStation and Xbox. So no company's perfect, and I think that this is so far one of the smartest marketing streaks I've seen from Xbox, though, because that's always been their
except for
weakest
Google
thing.
Stadia. That one's perfect.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting there is technically a fourth contender. Is technically the Stadia, but that shit's like super dead. So who cares? Oh, I saw a game recently that was just like, coming out on Switch and also Google Stadia, and I said no, it's not. So it's just coming out on Switch. Like, why is this thing lying to me that this game's actually going to come out? They're not going to waste. No one's going to waste any more resources on that. In fact, a lot of titles that were starting to look at Stadia are starting to slowly lose that part where they just go Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, blank spot. Like, they're starting to just slowly pull out of that, which is just, it's just not good. Streaming games doesn't work. Like it's just not a thing. No one wants to play their games at a way worse version of it. Like a lower resolution, bad frame rate, bad latency running version of it. No one wants that shit. We're talking about Epic Games, so Tencent comes in the picture. To clarify, for those who don't know, Tencent and Platinum, my favorite guys, did enter a deal together. Now, of course, the initial knee-jerk reaction from the public was, oh man, fucking Platinum, they're dead now. Fucking, this sucks, like Tencent's gonna ruin Platinum and everything like that. Couple of good bits of news. First of all, Platinum is a company that releases some of the best games that don't sell. Nier is one of their best-selling titles. Its numbers just blow compared to to your Call of Duties and to your Jedi Fallen Order and to your, whatever. They make, to me, some of the best games ever made. They just don't sell because they're not for the most of the world. Because of that, Platinum is always on the brink of just dying, basically. They do run their company to the point where, since they're basically making all these great titles as passion projects and for their cult fan base, they're always on the cusp of almost going bankrupt, of almost like just making enough to break even. Every title is just breaking even. With Tencent backing, they actually have financial stability, and from what is known from the deal, Tencent has no stake in creativity or shot calling.
Okay.
They only have enough where they pumped juice and enough money where Platinum sold enough shares to them to make it worth their time and gained a lot of money out of it, but they didn't sign anything where Tencent's allowed to add tons of microtransactions or make any creative calls at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So as far as we know, unless they just blew smoke out of their ass and they just don't want us to get worried, unless we see some Tencent shenanigans coming on, Platinum does seem to be safe. So that was good to hear. Because when I actually heard about the story initially from Josh, I actually didn't even hear about it until after he said, "Did you hear about that?" And I was just like, "No, actually." And I was worried too at first. I just didn't want to go, the way I reacted with Pokemon, where I was just like, "Oh, fuck them" and all this stuff, because they're my dude. So I had to do some research first before popping off on the mouth. And thankfully, I'm glad I did, because it was not as bad as I thought. But Lex, did you play for Platinum's titles? You may have known them for when they were working for Capcom. They did stuff like Okami and Beautiful Joe and stuff like that, and Devil May Cry. Obviously not that one. But then when they went independent, they started doing stuff like their most popular series being Bayonetta. Recently released stuff like Nier and everything. Are you familiar with any of their titles, as far as you know?
I've heard of Bayonetta. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
And like the one that you just mentioned.
Right, which was when they were working back to the Nier and the Devil May Cry. Yeah, it's one of those things where again, that's because they just don't. They never really have the marketing backing. It'll be interesting to see now because they do want to start independent publishing. If their titles will start to see light a bit more with this kind of money, if they use some of it for marketing, or even if they just pump it all into the games. But the quality they've seen, especially with what you've seen from what you've enjoyed from Nier so far, I'm really glad you're enjoying that. Oh, and speaking of Nier, the soundtracks for the original Nier as well as Automatic Tomatoes is now available streaming on Spotify. For those of you who like your Spotify people and you want to check out the soundtracks, because if there's anything you're going to take away from Nier Automata is the soundtrack.
Yeah, the music's
so
great.
Goddamn good. So you can at least check that out. Definitely some good music in those games. The original Nier, I don't have much experience with. I played it once and it was really clunky feeling. So different studio, same writer, but way different style of game. Just because you like Automata doesn't mean you're going to enjoy the original Nier. But lore-wise, they are pretty relevant to each other, at least as far as I know. Because I remember Wooly from Castle Super Reviews was worried about they wanted to play Nier before, and then they were just like, are they just going to kind of brush it under a reboot? Apparently, there are some heavy callbacks, and the first Nier is definitely super canon as you start to get the multiple endings. Apparently, there's a lot of stuff that does reference to that. So, kind of cool that they didn't just abandon it, and it's not just a full reboot, which is what people thought it was going to be. So, there's that. You guys can definitely check out those soundtracks. What are you talking about? We're talking about Alienware, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about that? We already did that. Nintendo, what a surprise. Nintendo just doesn't know how to do tournaments. They were kind of talking about, I was listening to an old episode of Super Best Friend Cast when they were talking about the Splatoon 2 tournament as being the dumbest prizes, like autograph posters of No One Gives a Fuck, and just, how they used to be cash prizes. And they were kind of talking about how Smash doesn't really have any great, why you're not seeing, even though you probably could see it on the level of League of Legends tournaments, why you don't. And I'll link that below, but they just kind of talk about how that's kind of not their focus on it, and worry about trying to turn it into too much of a cash cow.
I know Nintendo doesn't even want it to be a competitive game.
Don't. Yeah, they don't. And that's one of the things that they do highlight there is yes, we're aware we can turn it into this League of Legends PUBG style. A lot of people love Smash. Yes, we could blow it up into esports, craziness. But we don't want to, because we don't want it. We feel the game itself is supposed to kind of be a little more homegrown and not so much a corporate nonsense thing. So it's an interesting thing. It also could just be they don't know the first step in moving into that direction, because they've kind of showed that they don't really know how to do that. But if it's truly to keep the integrity of the game, okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, there are pros and cons. Evo is definitely not the Evo that it was, maybe even 5 years ago. There's not really any more grassroots feeling with it. It's all so corporate now.
Yeah.
So you got your pros and cons.
Yep, you definitely do. For those who have been watching Witcher on Netflix, there's been some confusion because there is a lot of stuff that they just kind of assume you've read the books or played a little bit of the game. So I mentioned last time when we had Samir on here that it was obviously primarily more based on the books, but as I got further into the show, it was actually cool. They actually do reference a couple of quests that actually did happen in the games too. So I was kind of I thought they were just going to totally curb the games and just based on the books. But it was cool to see a little bit of nods. And I'm starting to finally get a little more warmed up to Superman Geralt. He does a good job. It was just more, again, the visual thing that was kind of throwing me off. I just think it was a weird visual choice for Geralt. But, his performance is so good. I still think he looks a little weird as Geralt, but his performance is starting to outweigh his visuals in terms of that. So I'm starting to get a little more into it. Has anyone started? Okay, you started watching it. Lex, have you watched any of The Witcher at all on Netflix?
No, but I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, it's weird hearing The Witcher now.
Yeah. I mean, like, it looks good. I think I'm gonna start watching it.
Yeah.
I know that it was a book. I didn't know it was a game.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I don't know which one came out first.
The books originally did, and then the game kind of like brought it more to the American side of things, because it was to the point where that book was so obscure before that like there were no like official English translated versions until just like a couple years ago when the game got big. So it was very much very underground thing, especially over here. Like people were relying on fan translations until very recently. So yeah, no, it's one, and that's the thing. And as someone who was a fan of the game first before the books or anything else, it's so weird now going on Facebook where like I used to be the one raving lunatic ever since Witcher 2, where I'm just like, yes, they're making a Witcher 3 game. It's going to be so amazing. And then it actually was, and I'm still like one of the only people talking about it, where like people have now heard of Witcher 3, but still like I'm one of the only people I know still who've actually played it. And so I'm still there with like a couple of people now who can know what I'm talking about. And I'm just like, yeah, Witcher 3 is great. Blah, 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 blah. And then now everyone on my timeline, because of the Netflix show, is just like, man, toss a coin to The Witcher. I'm like,
Stop.
The hipster in me is like you know, fucking nerd raging, but at the same time, just like, you know what? Fuck it. The Witcher is a cool story, so I guess even if it took a fucking TV show from Netflix to finally get everyone on board, fuck it, I guess. So, like, yeah. But then the other half of me is like, but the games were really good, you assholes. Like, you guys kind of snubbed them for so long, and now it's trendy to like The Witcher. Like, it is weird. And then a few friends were sharing stuff, so I'm just like,
think about it. Like, you know, the Witcher is gonna, like, the Netflix show is going to get so many people to play the game give it proper notice, and it's going to get people to buy the game and you know, pay the people who created the game. So like, I really don't think it could be a bad thing at all, because like that's what it takes to get people's eyes on it. It's like, it's really hard to get an original thing out into the world in front of people if it's not backed by a huge corporation like Netflix.
Exactly.
So that's just the cynic in me. I was just like, this is great.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's why I eventually did warm up to it. It's the same thing with a lot of stuff where, you know, I was a mouthpiece for, and I just felt bad that it didn't like get it back then. But yeah, it is cool that Witcher is getting its dues. We talked last time about how there are more people now who've played it on Steam than like ever. So like, yeah, it's definitely getting there.
I'm sure that the creators of the games are fucking stoked that they're getting so much more attention. Like, I think it's more important what the game creator, like the creators of the games feel than like, I don't know, then like, oh man, like I knew about this first. How much does that really matter, as opposed to like people paying for the game.
I guess it's just that as someone who likes a lot of independent stuff and everything, it sucks sometimes that there are things that should have got the Witcher treatment that didn't, and then ended up dying because no one cared about it, and then it never got to that corporation stuff. So that's the thing. I you know, it is good that this one was the lucky star, but I do get a little sad sometimes because I was just like, man, look at all this good stuff everyone's missing out on. But yeah, no. But it is good though, because they are absolutely killing it. I know the Netflix show is going to get like another season and everything, so that is good. And then of course they resolve stuff with the author and everything, so at least there's that. So yeah, no, good stuff. But what isn't good stuff though is finally we're getting to the main topic. If anyone wants to get it out of the conversation, you can hit us up at disconnectedcastmail@gmail.com. Once again, that's disconnectedcastmail@gmail.com. And we are going to talk about how we now live in fucking 2020, where Pokemon has a season pass, like Assassin's Creed and any fucking other game. So, to get it off the bat first, we're going to go with the sympathizers first, that obviously are going to make the points of, well, it is more content, blah, blah, blah. But you could make that argument with a lot of other stuff that, you know, that wasn't necessarily great practice out of it, especially because they are starting to squeeze stuff. One of my biggest concerns always is by not having all the Pokemon in the thing and making all these, you know, Pokemon Company making all these excuses as to why they didn't do it, and then releasing a season pass in which they're adding 200 more, and I'm just like, but I thought you couldn't do it. And now when money's involved, you can do it. And for anyone who doesn't know, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are nowhere near hurting. So let's not. So we definitely can't go into that they needed the money to do it thing in their sense, and it's just really a shame to me. But then the thing that was insult to injury is that they didn't just introduce one. They already mentioned that they have 2 season passes already planned for the year, which now brings Pokemon Sword and Shield up to $120 game if you're going to go into content for it.
It's $30 for each game. You get both packs in the season pass.
Okay, so both of these are going to be for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you go to the eShop, it says you get both of these. They're just timed.
Okay, so thank God, it's only a $90 game now. Okay,
yeah, so
right.
you just pay $30 for each version.
Okay.
And then in, I think, July is when the first one's going to drop.
Yes,
You'll
and
get
then
that
the other one
first
in fall.
Yes. Yeah, so you're still paying $30 for both of those content.
Okay, so it's $30 for 200 gatekeep Pokemon and a bunch of content and stuff like that. So, I mean, the content itself sounds fine. And again, if they do an Ultra Sword and an Ultra Shield, that's going to be really fucked up if they do an enhanced version after doing this. Because this seems like you're sidestepping that. But if they still do that, fuck them at that point. But it's a tough one. Because people do like their Pokemons, and this will make a lot of money, so this is definitely a move that they're probably... This is the world we live in now. Pokemon will now have season passes, even when future games come out, even when Pokemon Rock and Grass come out. They're going to have fucking season pass for that also.
Yeah.
But, again... It's a franchise that literally up to this point, for like 20... How long has it been? 25 years? Is it 30 years? Is it 30 years now? Anyways, you're talking about a franchise that went that long, that ignored the season pass nonsense for a really long time. Even when Splatoon had a season pass, Breath of the Wild had a season pass, even when its fellow brethren franchises started to get into this, it still ignored it for so long. And now they give in, and they're just like, you know what, fuck it, like, let's just, like... It sucks, like, I just can't... I don't know, there's no way for me around it to, like, say... Other than to, again, you're getting more content, sure, but it's still one of those things where it comes into the Borderlands 3 argument for me, where I'm just like, yeah, but you're standardizing stuff now. You're now saying it's okay to keep 200 Pokemon away from me because you can just charge me for them later on. Yeah. Yes, there will be more gyms, more maps, more battles, more narrative, as is, more content. But again, it's still stuff that was probably, with how fast they announced it, still stuff that was clearly cut out of the game to be sold at a later time.
Yeah.
And as far as I can say, it's nothing new. Because you do have those people who are just like, why do you guys give such a shit about this? It's just the norm. That's the thing. I don't want DLC or season passes to be a norm.
Yeah.
And last of all, in fucking Pokemon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it was almost, I saw it as almost this last bastion of hope of a pure game where I was just like, oh yes, they ignored it again. They ignored the trend. They ignored the... Pokemon's huge. Of course they can make tons of money by selling extra bullshit. Yeah. Of course. But now we live in a world where Pokemon it happens. I mean, again, if we're talking about content, it's not inherently a bad thing. No. Because it's more Pokemon.
I mean, I think it's quite a bit of content for $30. So, like, Pokemon's not canceled for me, personally. Mm-hmm. Now, I get the concern, though, if they do...
snowball effect?
If they do just end up releasing, like, Sword and Shield 2 or Ultra Sword and Shield. Mm-hmm. In the Pokemon Direct, they actually do, address that. They say, usually in the past, we've done games like we released Platinum or Black and White 2, Ultra Sun and Moon, but we felt we would continue to support the current game going on, so for $30 you get all this content. So, if they don't do, like, an Ultra or whatever... Mm-hmm. I'm fine. I would much rather do that. Mm-hmm. I would much rather be like, here's $30 and, you just add on to it rather than me spend another $60 for a whole other game where you're probably playing through the same story and then maybe you get to do a little extra stuff. Because I think that's pretty much how Ultra Sun and Moon was.
Absolutely. 100% what it is.
Yeah, I completely missed out on that one. I have no qualms about missing out on it.
No.
So.
Miss Mallory, obviously, big Pokemon fan. How do you personally feel about it? Because so far that's two, not necessarily opposing takes, because Josh isn't 100% on board with, like, fucking DLC being added to anything.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand the concerns. And, you know, it's on the one hand, we're like, yeah, EA has had years of horrible business practices to build up that
I just
reputation.
hope that this isn't Pokemon EA now.
Yeah, nah, for sure. But when I saw the Pokemon Direct and they actually addressed that, that kind of eased my mind a bit.
If I see outfits you can buy piecemeal for $3 a piece, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, they are going to add more customizable items.
No, they are. But what I mean
is,
like,
if there's microtransaction shit,
when it gets to that, that'll be even worse.
Yeah,
because again, so Josh is on the thing where he's not necessarily advocating for more things to take on this business practice, but he's at least saying, at least you're getting bang for the buck of it, and they did address the concerns. And then on my end, I'm not necessarily saying more Pokemon is shitty. I'm saying that what looks like cut out content being added at a later time looks shitty.
It does completely suck at the fact that they defended the lower Pokedex because they were like, well, we can work more on the animations, and the animations weren't even
much better.
Yeah, they weren't the most fantastic thing ever.
And not to mention, another argument was maybe giving some of these newer Pokemon more focus, but then you're just gonna pile on them anyways.
You know, there could be the argument that this probably could have been a decision that was made in reaction to the whole Dexgate shit. People were like, oh, why aren't you giving us our Pokemon? They're like, okay, well, maybe we should. And
yeah, but to me, a better reaction would maybe just patching it in instead of charging you for it. But, I mean, But you're right, though. It could have been. It could have been that, and then on the way out, they go, and we could charge for it. So that could have been like a thing, you know, it could be. It's a very confused thing, because I am upset about it. But at the same time, I think people sometimes misconstrue what I'm upset about, and they just kind of go, you hate Pokemon. It's that whole thing all over again, where I'm just kind of like trying to make a fucking stand for something or a point in something. Yeah. And then, not you, but like, I can already hear the people being like, Patrick hates Pokemon! He hates them all! He wants them to die!
Yeah, now of course there is the silver
lining. They're adding Bulbasaur. I should be happy if anything.
Right.
There is the silver lining that you won't have to buy it to get the Pokemon. You just got to get them through a trade.
Some of the trade, yeah.
Yeah.
So. Hey, Mallory, you should really get it. I think that the DLC is a great idea and that you should buy it. I'm not going to, but you should. Anyways. No, but as a long-term Pokemon fan, obviously, you still play Pokemon Go, which is a testament to any Pokemon fan. What was your personal reaction when you did hear that an expansion pass, you know, people also get mad that I call it a season pass, that's called satire and joking and making fun of it. They call it an expansion, obviously. You can call it fucking expand this, but yeah, basically. What was your reaction when you heard that paid Pokemon add-on is coming?
I didn't want to buy it. I don't want it messing with.
You're an extremist like me, where literally as soon as that direct came on, I deleted that shit off of my Switch.
Like,
hashtag cancel
I said hashtag
Pokemon.
Fuck this.
So
hashtag wasted $60.
It sounds weird, but I always liked the Ultra versions anyways. I think it's just because I would buy them because they were
So you're kind of like, I would have rather gotten on the Broken Pony that already existed.
Yeah, than to have to see a season pass. Pony. I remember when... I mean, and that's one reason I stopped playing Call of Duty a long time ago, was because of the DLC season passes stuff. And, like, Pokemon has always been where you can pay a little bit more and get this Ultra later, and yeah, you do get that small added content, but you never, like, had to pay to get your Pokemon back. Like... Alright,
real quick, before we bang on, because I think this is going to go on for a bit, Lex does have other commitments, so we'll see her off real quick. Right. Let's do that. Lex,
my other commitment is to go to sleep.
Exactly.
Not wake up my roommate.
Yeah, different times and whatnot. So yeah, no, we appreciate you joining us. Real quick, Pokemon experience, any at all?
Lots. It's like probably one of my favorite series. Yeah, I really like it. It was like a huge part of my childhood, and yeah, I think like, I mean, hearing about this change it's like, obviously they see that they can earn more money from it, which is like, all right, good for them. Like, you're doing capitalism right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, yeah, it's gonna obviously incur more cost on us, but like, people still like the fucking game, and like, they're gonna get it, you know? Like, I think I might get it if I had like a Switch, you know? The thing about buying a Switch is that it's money, and then like, then you gotta buy more games, but like, yeah, come on, Pokemon Sword and Shield looks fucking dope. Like,
yeah, it does look really good.
It just looks cool. Yeah, and like, people love it, you know? And like, it's Pokemon, so like, I would still get it if I had the console, you know?
Yep,
Someone just has to gift me the console, and then I'll buy all the games.
There you go. Yeah, it's definitely a bittersweet thing, because again, there is good coming out of it too. We are getting more Pokemon, so there's that.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, they don't need that money, but like, you know, what are you gonna do?
Exactly. Alrighty, Lex. Well, thank you for joining us. We really, really, really appreciate it.
Hey, thank y'all so much.
It was great.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for interviewing me, and yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast. I feel like I learned a lot myself, and I really enjoyed being on air with you guys, and yeah, just like shooting the shit. Thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Of course, and then next time you're in the nearby show, we'll be seeing you then for sure. We'll definitely come out and support, and you let us know once the album drops and everything. We'll also plug that as well, so we got you.
Yeah, that sounds great. I will let you know about all of that, and yeah, until next time.
All right, Take care. You have a good night.
Bye.
All right, you too. Bye, y'all. Have fun.
All right, and then bang. Okay, so banging on more about crying about Pokemon. No, but I know you were almost done, but I just didn't want to.
You're fine.
I missed her message from like fucking 15 minutes ago, and she was already trying to tell me that she needed to go, and I was like, oh, fuck, sorry. I do appreciate her not just cutting us off and being like, hey, shut the fuck up for a second, and then let me go.
That probably would have been more appropriate.
Probably would have been, right?
Just
but yeah, we are still on the air, though, so this is still part of the episode, so, no, she's gone, but she's gonna hear that, well, look, it's gone. Pokemon, talk about Pokemon.
But yeah, so, I mean, I'm kind of upset that they're making us pay for our Pokemon. Like I said, I remember when I stopped playing Call of Duty was because of all the stupid DLC bullshit season pass stuff. And now that it's coming to Pokemon, it's like, do I even really want to?
I'm gonna wait till you're done, because it was actually something that I remembered.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so now that just kind of turns me off to like wanting to play this new game. I don't want to buy the season pass to get my other Pokemon. I guess I'll just stick with Pokemon Go and my original games, because like, it's just not, I don't know, I just feel weird paying for my Pokemon.
Right. Okay. And then before Josh loses his point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna give them my $30. But there was one thing that I was kind of like, but I've got mixed feelings on. So with the update, now that there's going to be more Pokemon added into the decks and all that stuff, they did announce in the Pokemon Direct that Pokemon that you have in your Pokemon Bank, as well as in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you will be able to transfer them over to Sword and Shield. However, you have to use something that will be called Pokemon Home. So,
which is a paid service, by the way. We talked, that's right. I forgot. We didn't talk about this before, but John and I talked about this back when it was first announced at Nintendo Direct in February, I believe, almost a year ago. And we were talking about like how they don't have cloud saves for the Pokemon games, and they don't have any way to link your bank yet.
Yeah.
But then they were going to add this feature, which is also supposed to work with Pokemon, your actual Pokemon Go, as well as that new weird sleep one that they announced earlier this year, the Pokemon Go. I shit you not.
I remember because we looked it up
together. It's something really dumb sounding like Pokemon Go or something like that.
Pokemon Go to sleep?
Yeah, basically. The sleep tracking one, which is just, it's what I need more Big Brother shit with Pokemon themes.
Pokemon Fitbit.
Yeah. But there's that, and then the fact that they're almost like bridging it together too, because that's another cost incurred. Yeah,
so I don't know what the price point for Pokemon.
I forgot what it was. They did say it, but I forgot.
Because I know Pokemon Bank's not that bad. I think it's like $7 for a year, which is, I mean, that's chump change, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, if you break it down to a cost of a year.
Yeah, I mean, I could make like one of those fucking what are those like?
GoFundMe.
I know what are those stupid commercials where like for 10 cents a day,
Oh,
you
yeah,
could do
yeah,
this
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it's pennies, you know, $7
Pennies on
a
a
year.
dollar.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know the price point for Pokemon Home, so while I'm kind of cringing that you need a paid service to do that, I do know usually their services have not been that expensive.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
It's one of those things
hopeful,
where,
but,
yeah, exactly. It is one of those things where it is additional money, but at least that one's not as much. Unless it does end up being a lot, in which case, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine start charging you $10 a month for fucking your Pokemon bank. I'd be like, yeah, charge this.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's supposed to be a monthly or
if they're smart, they'll keep to like the $7 a year. I think that's more than fair for a non-tangible service.
Yeah.
It costs them fuck all, okay? That's pennies on the server, what they're running on that bullshit to hold little 2-bit Pokemon on there, you know what I mean? Like, so, through all that, I now realize all I gotta do is start a GoFundMe for the Pokemon expansion.
Alright.
And then there we go. I'll just say, broke my leg in the hospital, need $30.
Broke your leg in the hospital?
Yeah.
What I meant is,
I mean, I went
gonna
there
play Pokemon at the hospital.
I went there to get a vaccination. I fucking tripped.
Yeah, exactly. And now for $30, what's the $30 for? So I can play the Pokemon expansion while I'm in the hospital.
recover. Hello.
I mean, I'm not really hurt. I mean, wait, what? No, anyways.
Yeah.
But
now,
yeah.
one thing that will suck, though, is if you own both versions and then you want to play both, so, you know, you have to pay $60 on top of the $120 for both games. So that will suck.
For OCD and completionists, you're fucked.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I mean,
that makes me tired just hearing all that. Like,
yeah. But I only
I was not
gonna
do
now.
that.
I'm only gonna pay $30.
Yeah,
I do kind of hate the fact that the new character that I like, she's like a poison. Like, so there's two characters who are they're aiming to become gym leaders. So one is a poison type, the other is a psychic type. And the poison type, she's gonna be in sword, and the psychic type's coming in shield. And I'm like, fuck! Like, I want sword now.
Yeah,
but,
you're like, I chose the wrong version.
Alright.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Pokemon's fun. I've been having fun playing it. They also added Gigantamax versions for the starters.
I saw Venusaur's big old fucking cloak.
Did you see the Gigantamax version for Inteleon, the water starter?
I didn't.
Dude, it's cool. You know how it makes that cloud, right? So the cloud like jumps to the air, and he's just there with the sniper.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so people have already photoshopped him into like a Kangaskhan, and then putting the New Vegas.
New Vegas.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's great.
We could bang on it forever because there are solid arguments on both sides. What I will say is, you're allowed to still like Pokemon, but I think that the only thing that left a sour taste in my mouth since the news started are all the people who are kind of calling anyone with a concern like alarmist or not having a valid concern. I think that you don't have to agree, and you can give Pokemon Company all the money you want. You can be that person who has Sword Shield and the expansions for both and all the, whatever you want. You pay $300 for it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's on you.
My concern is that now I'm getting gatekeeped out because I just wanted to buy a game and play it. And now it would feed on me. Again, I talk about loot box issues I had. I talk about OCD shit that I have. That would just bother me more. So for me, I'm quitting now before it becomes a financial problem for me. Not gonna waste my money on anything else. But what I mean is, in terms of Pokemon, where I did expect just to pay $60, and then now it's become $90. Then is it going to become $120 next year? Is it going to become?
Because what if they do this for Animal Crossing?
And that's one of the things that we talked about actually, and Justice was laughing about it. But it could be a thing,
Yeah.
Now more villagers, another part of the island.
Get two islands now.
Yeah, more music. Where does it stop? You got Breath of the Wild did it. Hyrule Warriors had DLC. Splatoon had
get the season pass so that you get a lower APR with Tom Nook.
Basically. But yeah, so again, I'm not saying people shouldn't enjoy Pokemon or don't have to. I'm just saying it fucked it up for me. And clearly not just me, because there are a lot of people who are upset about it. Yeah. Obviously. The only thing I will say, though, is that I did find kind of funny in terms of making fun of people who are upset about it, though, is a little meme that Paige posted. Obviously, we've all been pretty anti-DLC, anti-season pass for a while, but there are a lot of people who are totally okay with it. And Paige posted a thing that showed all the Nintendo stuff that already has season passes, and no one bitched about those because it's just been accepted as the norm. And then showed that same person getting super butthurt about when Pokemon got announced for that, and I was just like, that's actually pretty funny to me, because there are a lot of people who didn't give a fuck about DLC and then are now, this is their first foray into complaining about it. And
they came for the Star Wars and I said nothing. They came for the Zelda and I said nothing. Then they came for the
Pokemon. Yep.
And there was no one left.
Yeah, basically. And there definitely are a lot of bandwagon complainers. There definitely are. But, again, I think that people who are dismissing those who are concerned, I don't think that's fair either.
No.
It's definitely not fair for people to say, fuck you, don't enjoy Pokemon. But all I've said is I'm not enjoying it anymore, and that I think the money thing is a issue. But I've never said, you don't get to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, just like I shouldn't be saying that, people definitely, I think people who are just dismissing it as not something to be concerned about aren't looking at the whole picture too, because I definitely think it is a little concerning. It is alarming that a game who's ignored it for this long has now given it.
Yeah.
And whether or not it had great intentions, Josh made a very good point. Yeah. Maybe they heard the backlash of I almost said Brexit, the actual thing,
Dexit.
but of Dexit. Maybe it was a knee-jerk reaction to that, and then maybe I am right too, where they had a little bit of a evil devil thing at the end and said, sprinkle a little bit of that cost on there. Could be a mix of both. Could just be entirely one thing and they don't see it as bad or malicious. It's possible. But mark my words, though, if they do add microtransactions, I am 100% out.
I won't do it.
I'm out for now, but I will be out permanently if they add fucking microtransactions. If they start selling me a hat for $1, a suit for $3, fuck that shit. Because now, that shit literally is no better than fucking Ubisoft or EA at that point.
Yeah.
They're definitely more moral than that still, but if they go that route, fuck that shit. Like, 100%. Or XP boosters, or if you can buy stat resets, imagine being able to buy natures or stat resets. If they start doing that shit, 100% out of that.
Yeah, that would be a bit much.
Yeah.
I think.
So, yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll see. I'm a little crushed, though, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, no.
I think we should
I'm
go
a little
to
upset,
Buc-ee's.
too. I wasted $60. I just bought that game like a month ago, and I'm already not playing it. I'm on strike.
I think we should go to Buc-ee's, guys.
Yep, it's Buc-ee's time.
It's Buc-ee's time.
You guys don't know what the fuck that means, but what we will do is see ya every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time until the next episode for $30. We will see you then. Until then, see ya.
Bye. Refreshing.